farms to your table. Every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of jasmine or any other of our supreme American rice.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick Dellucci. Pair of Game 4s in the NBA playoffs tonight. In the East, Cavs, Pistons, and Cleveland. Detroit leading the series 2-1. Knicks play the winner after sweeping the Sixers yesterday. ESPN's Jay Williams says the Knicks should want another shot at Detroit.
Cade Cunningham,
Well,
because Cade Cunningham is the Knicks killer.
Yeah, that is.
And J.B. Bickerstaff, we want all the smoke with that team all the time. You haven't seen this version of us. Okay, I want that back. I want a chance to redeem myself.
Williams on Get Up. Cavs, Pistons, followed by Thunder and Lakers from L.A. OKC with a chance to complete the sweep tonight. Tips at 8 and 10:30 Eastern. Game 5 in T-Wolves Spurs tomorrow. Spurs star Victor Wembanyama will not face any further discipline for elbowing Minnesota's Naz Reid and will play after being called for a flagrant 2 in the second quarter yesterday. The Bucks are open for business on trade offers for two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. Bucks engaged in talks at the deadline after he expressed the time had come to part ways.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ Chris Candy. Coming up Tuesday, it's NFL schedule release week, and I'll tell you my top 5 games I'm most excited about this upcoming season. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Baseball Tigers get swept. Saints open up rookie minicamp. Lane Kiffin pissing off people in Oxford. We got a ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, whatever faint hope any of us might have had after LSU swept South Carolina a week ago is now gone. LSU gets swept at Georgia. So if you have any visions of the Tigers playing regional baseball, they are going to have to win the SEC tournament in Hoover. Pretty cut and dried what happened this weekend. Friday, you got off to a great start, like you've actually done pretty consistently here offensively. You had a 4-run lead on 2 different occasions Friday, 6-2, 7-3. Ultimately, you blew it, losing 11-8. And a lot of it, when you look at the margin, was your own doing. In that first inning on Friday, Schmidt walked 3 and hit a guy, ended up scoring 2. In the second inning, John Pearson on a little check swing tapper to third, threw wide of the base at first. That basically put a runner on second. That run came around a score, and there's your 3 runs. There's your margin. LSU got completely hosed out of a run on an overturn call at first base. If you haven't seen it yet, go find it on Twitter. Runner was ruled safe at first after a throw pulled the first baseman off the bag, run scored. Ultimately, they would go to review and rule the runner at first out, took the run off the board. Absolutely stunning that they overturned the call. That didn't cost LSU the game of the series. And look, Jay went to Devin Sheeran, which was the right decision with a lead, and you lost. So that is the product of having a thin staff. If Devin Sheeran could be your 8th or 9th inning guy, that's better than trying to ask Devin Sheeran to give you 4+ innings of relief. But that's a product of having a thin staff after a couple of injuries and some guys that didn't develop the way that maybe you thought or hoped they would. So you go into Saturday, you're facing the best offense in the SEC, one of the best in the country. They had 14 hits, and you gave them 15 base runners. You walked 13 and hit 2. You gave that offense 15 base runners. Here's 15 base runners. And that's how you lost game 2. And then game 3, good to see Evans out there, like on the mound, starting and throwing. I mean, that was for a guy that is supreme arm talent, spent the bulk of the season as your Friday night guy. To see him get out there and get on the bump and throw was a positive. There really wasn't anything else that was positive. You get run ruled in that game, and you were never really competitive. So when you look at what's next, even if you sweep Florida this coming weekend, that only puts you at 12 SEC wins. As we've talked about pretty consistently here, that threshold generally is 13 SEC wins is what you need to get in to the NCAA tournament. And 13 isn't always even a guarantee. South Carolina in 2022 had 13 wins. They did not make regionals. They had an RPI of 69, despite their strength of schedule at 11. They were 27 and 28 overall. This LSU team right now has an RPI of 57. Florida has a top 15 RPI. I believe they're 11. I looked at it earlier today. But so you got a good opportunity against Florida. It's not going to be enough. So a bare minimum, you would have to play into the weekend, like sweep Florida and play into the weekend in Hoover, which I don't even think that's possible. More likely, you are going to have to win the SEC tournament to get the auto bid. I don't know that there's a path really at this point for LSU to earn an at-large berth in the NCAA tournament. So, and if we're being realistic, when you look at the format now of the SEC tournament, with all 16 teams being in, LSU is most likely going to be the 14 seed ahead of South Carolina and Missouri. And if you're the 14 seed, you're going to play Tuesday, and what is, by the way, the last game Tuesday, so they'll probably play that game at midnight. Your college baseball teams aren't set up roster-wise with their pitching to be able to play. Early in the season, you do play like the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the 4-game weekends. So it is doable to play and win 4 games. The problem is you're certainly not going to win 6 games in 6 days. The problem with that approach is eventually, if you play into Thursday, Friday, you're going to run up against somebody else's weekend arm, a Friday or a Saturday arm, when you are completely depleted playing your 3rd or 4th game in as many days. So it's just not realistic to assume LSU, this team, which just doesn't have any pitching, that this team is going to be able to go on a run in Hoover. Can they win a game? Sure. Maybe 2. But once you get past the double bye round, you're going to run up against really good teams who are rested and are throwing their weekend arms, and at that point, you're going to be completely depleted. It's going to look like it did against Georgia this weekend in Game 3. So LSU season is going to end in Hoover. That much, we probably know it now, but we could start to accept that is the reality this team is going to face. They're going to miss postseason for the first time miss regionals for the first time since 2011. And we'll start to talk about what went wrong. And we know a lot of these answers. I mean, you missed on transfers. We've talked about this. Just for context, York, Caraway, Dardar, Simpson, those 4 combined to hit 14 home runs this year. Trent Caraway, who was supposed to be your starting third baseman, has taken 74 at-bats on the entire season. I mean, you just got nothing out of these guys that were supposed to be big-time impact players for you. There's been a lack of development. You know, a lot of people assume or hoped, I don't want to say assumed, the hope was William Schmidt could take a similar step to Cade Anderson. I'm not suggesting that he would have gone from being a guy that was a midweek guy to the number 3 pick in the draft. Cade Anderson's meteoric ascension was incredible. And but Schmidt became a weekend guy for you, just an inconsistent weekend guy. I think what that does more is highlight how incredible Cade Anderson was. Maverick Rizzi was a guy you expected more out of. He's thrown 20 1/3 innings on the season. Cooper Williams was someone from the left side I know going into this season they were hoping could have emerged and maybe won a weekend job because they wanted a lefty in the rotation, and they thought that could be Cooper Williams. He's got an ERA north of 8. I mean, just the guys that you had hoped would take that step didn't. And then there's injuries, and that's, you could say everybody has injuries, and everybody does have injuries, but not all injuries are the same. You lose Evans and Moore, who are your Friday, Saturday guy. We don't even have the conversation about how dominant or good or consistent they are. At some point, it's about being able to eat up innings. Because when you don't have those two guys, now everybody moves up 2 chairs. So your Sunday guy becomes your Friday guy. Your Tuesday guy, if you have one, becomes your Saturday guy. You don't have a Sunday guy, so you're whole staffing it. And then guys at the back of the bullpen who weren't going to pitch end up pitching on weekends. And it's just, college rosters aren't made for that. So it's been a combination of just a lot of bad that has led to what's happened this season, which is a season that will probably be the most losses that LSU has in conference play on record, depending on what happens this weekend. So really disappointing. I think if you're looking for the silver lining, it's that you got the best coach in college baseball at the helm, and he is a guy that does not like to lose. And as maniacal as he is, you take the bitter taste of this season and send him into the offseason, going to build a roster, I think it's going to go pretty well for Jay Johnson in the offseason. The disappointing part is it's May the 11th, and we're talking about next season. So, but that's a reality. After LSU got swept this past weekend, the reality of LSU making it to regionals is effectively nil at this point. So you'll have to go win the SEC tournament. I don't think that's realistic. So start talking about what the offseason looks like and who comes back and how they start to build toward next year and hopefully getting back into contention, because this isn't going to and shouldn't sit well with anybody. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. No midweek game, but the Tigers will be back at the box this weekend against Florida. And I want to get out there, man. It's been a disappointing season, no doubt, but last 3 games at the box until February. So if you want to get out and watch these Tigers play, get in the box and watch some baseball, get there and make sure if you do, you drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of the defending national champs, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. All right, it's After Further Review, y'all. We're glad you're hanging out with us here on this Monday edition. Aside from LSU baseball, oh, by the way, Lane Kiffin's Vanity Fair piece has just set the internet ablaze. I'm going to give myself some time at the start of hour 2 to talk about that. It's about 48 minutes from right now. I'll go deep into my thoughts on the Lane Kiffin Vanity Fair piece if you haven't heard it. Ole Miss fans are pissed about it. Naturally, they're going to be pissed about anything Lane Kiffin says. But I want to dive into some that I agree with, some that I don't agree with, but we'll do that coming up here shortly. Let me knock out a break. Saints were on the field for rookie minicamp this weekend. Ross Jackson was there. He'll tell us what he saw next. It's AFR.
AFR.
You know, you don't have to be envious of your friend, your neighbor, whoever it is who has that beautiful pool, outdoor kitchen. You can make your dream a reality, and Duplessis Pools can make that happen. Pools, outdoor kitchens, they can even do like putting greens out there in your backyard space. Make your backyard your outdoor oasis, your backyard paradise. Duplessis Pools can make that happen. I've told you about Derek Duplessis before. Engineer by trade, graduated from LSU, was working at one of the refineries as a mechanical engineer, built his sister's pool, taught himself how to do it, kind of fell in love with the process, and now has gone all in and is one of the top 50 pool builders in America, according to Pool and Spa magazine. So you want to build that beautiful pool? Trust Duplessis Pools to do it for you. Start at the website, duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net. Easy to use website. Start there. It's duplessisbuilders.net.
It's not easy to be a champion.
It's built from every swing, pitch, and game all season long. In the grind, the focus,
and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes, because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
No, again, just similar for these guys. We finally get our hands on these guys. They've been through a lot, whether injuries last year, off-season training and all that sort of stuff. We just put these guys in our system, and similar to last year, you probably saw rookies who were, in and out of different activities, and so very similar to a number of these guys that didn't participate.
Kellen Moore was asked after practice about Jordan Tyson's absence on Saturday. Naturally, that became a big storyline because of the injury history. But sounds like all is copacetic. Ross Jackson was there, LouisianaSports.net and Locked On Saints. Hey, man, thanks for the time. How are you?
Hey, dude, of course. Appreciate you having me on. I'm doing good. Hope you're well.
Yep, always. Thank you. Okay, Jordan Tyson, he's there on Friday. He's not there on Saturday. You buy in the whole, we're just playing day, just taking it easy on him?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was a little surprised to see him out there on Friday. Look, we're seeing more and more around the NFL of either teams not doing rookie minicamps or even holding their drafted rookies out of rookie minicamps. And with a guy that, spent so much time over the course of the pre-draft process kind of recovering or at least playing it cautious around that hamstring injury that he suffered during the Texas Tech win during the 2025 collegiate season there, it wasn't going to be surprising to me if that caution continued to carry into rookie minicamp. And so I think him being there the first day was great, gave folks an opportunity to see him, gave him an opportunity to kind of show something in terms of, what he's got. And he looked great during that camp day and the way that he moved and his cuts, all the things that you hear about him and that you see on his tape, you saw in person during that first practice. But then to not see him out there the second day wasn't really a massive surprise. I was a little surprised the Saints didn't just come out and say it Friday after practice, being like, hey, listen, he's not going to be there on Saturday. Nobody freak out. But, I understand how NFL teams like to do this thing. And instead, they went mum on it and had to kind of discuss it after the fact. But I buy it. I buy that it was a planned absence. I also buy that it tells you that there's still a process for Jordan Tyson when it comes to fully either recovering from or at least being in a position to not re-aggravate the injury that he did suffer at the near the end of last season.
So the other thing in reading your recap over at LouisianaSports.net that kind of stood out was sounds like Barry and Brown.
Man.
Okay, so fill in the blank.
Yeah, I mean, Barry and Brown is fast as hell. Barry and Brown is going to be probably a way better receiver than anyone realized because everyone's only looking at him as a return specialist. I mean, I can fill in the blank so many different ways. This guy is remarkable. Look, he ran this 4.40 during his combine, right? And it's faster than anything I'll ever run or would have ever run in my lifetime. But it's not seen as elite speed anymore, right? You got to be in the 4.3, 4.2 category now to be considered like elite speed guys. But this is also a guy that was clocked at like 22.6 miles an hour during the 2025 season, or going into the 2025 season rather, on the field via GPS tracking, and that was faster than like anybody in the NFL was clocked at all during the 2023 season, for instance. And so, I mean, this is a receiver that has a real opportunity to be more than just a return specialist. I hesitate to invoke a name, but it's kind of reminiscent of Rashid Shaheed in the way that Rashid was sort of seen as this return specialist, gimmick player only, and then kind of evolved into a guy that was 15th in targets in the NFL by the time that he was traded by New Orleans during the season last year. And so a guy like Barry Brown is somebody worth watching that is more than just a return specialist and could really earn a role either as a slot option or even an outside option, just as another option in that passing game that could potentially be a real valuable deep threat for the Saints offense.
He's on Twitter at Ross Jackson Nola, Locked on Saints, podcast, YouTube, and, of course, LouisianaSports.net. Read him, watch him, listen, always free. One of the things, Ross, whenever I'll go out and say watch like the first practice of fall camp for college and all the freshmen come in, it's like you hear all these names and you see them on the field the first time and something grabs you, like either how physical someone is or speed, something. When you went out there and saw these guys for the first time, did anyone grab your eye for one reason or the other where you're like, oh, I didn't realize, oh, that's him? Like anyone like that?
Yeah. There's a player coming out of the Canadian Football League who previously played wide receiver at Utah, and that's Damian Alford. He's like 6'6", 220 something. And he's playing wide receiver. He's not playing tight end. And usually when you talk about a receiver that's of that size, you're not talking about the most fluid mover. You're talking about somebody that's a pretty static. Hey, here's your 3-4 routes, and here's your kind of landmarks to get behind a defender for a jump ball situation, or even box out a defender for a jump ball situation. But he moves a lot better than I think I expected him to, and so he's going to be a very interesting one to watch. He's one of the Saints kind of stable of 12 wide receivers right now that could potentially grow beyond that with guys like Brock Rocksteiner as well as Caleb Blaha, a couple of other tryout wide receivers that could maybe earn a role with New Orleans that also look good. But I think Alford was a guy for me that really stood out. And then over on the defensive side of the football, it was Jaden Price. Jaden Price came in last year as a UFL player, along with guys like Barry Wesley and Seth Green. Barry Wesley still with the team now, along with Jaden Price. Spent all season over on the practice squad. And just seeing him this year, looks bigger, moves better than I remember him moving last year during those during those in-season practices, and got a lot of opportunity in the slot throughout throughout those rookie minicamp practices as well. And so, he was a returner. He was number 2 in the UFL in punt return yards that year, and then he was top 10 in kick return yards that year, but also had the most pass breakups, or passes defended rather, in the UFL that season. So a couple of interesting players that maybe aren't necessarily guys that are going to be starters in 2026, but could give you some valuable depth that really kind of surprised me with the way that they moved and played.
What about the tryout players? Anybody of note?
Yeah, a couple of wide receivers there. Brock Rocksteiner, who, of course, is the son of Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump, if anybody else was a big WCW, WWE fan like I was. It was a big attitude.
Yeah, and then I turned 8 years old and decided that wrestling wasn't a thing I was going to spend my time on anymore.
Yeah, there you go. And so he was a big standout, somebody that moved a lot better than maybe anticipated, that has big-time leaping skills. He's coming out of Jacksonville State. Didn't load up the stat sheet during his time in college, but somebody that, hey, there's not an undrafted free agent wide receiver to bring in a bunch of attention and get people really hype over the course of the offseason in training camp this year, like Mason Tipton last year or the year before. And so maybe this is the guy that can fill that role. You know what
Why
I mean?
would you say Mason
I don't know if you really thought about that or not. I don't know if that was really on your radar.
God bless him, I'm sure he's a great guy. If I never hear Mason Tipton's name again, it'll be too soon.
And then the other guy is Caleb Blaha, who's a really interesting dude. He's the one that broke the all-division record for most total yards, passing and rushing. He actually broke Joe Burrow's record in that case while he was with Wisconsin River Falls.
Let's go.
So obviously did it a lower division, but 6,178 total yards and threw for 40 touchdowns, also ran for 18, but now is converted over back to wide receiver, which is where he started his collegiate career, even though he played quarterback in high school. He looked pretty good, moved well, was able to make some tough catches outside of his frame. Quarterbacks didn't really make it easy on anybody during these tryouts, during these rookie minicamps. And so guys having to catch outside of their frame and things like that, those were some of the things that kind of impressed me with those two guys.
A couple more for you. I know it's when they're not in pads, it's really hard to notice anything about the linemen, but did you notice anything about the linemen?
Yeah, there were two guys that were unsurprisingly still found a way to stand out to me, and that was Jeremiah Wright, who's being drafted 132 out of Auburn in the 4th round this year, and then Alan Heron, who comes from Westmoreland, Jamaica, played cricket, and then came over here, moved to Georgia, and then started playing football. His senior year, got a college scholarship to go and play, or got an offer to go and play at Shorter University in Georgia, and then eventually transferred to Maryland. A guy that didn't play football at all until his senior year of high school, was a 46-game starter, all 12 games, all 4 years. Pretty impressive stuff from this guy. And both of them, like, you're right, you don't really get an opportunity to really see these guys go up against the defensive linemen, and there's no pads, no contact, anything like that. But you can still see the way that they move. You can still see how quickly they get to their spots. You can see, the sort of aggression and power on the bags and things like that. And those guys got some big time pop when they were playing, when they were kind of running through those bag drills. So those guys still found a few different ways to stand out, even without the contact of like a padded training camp.
Any other draft picks that were notable or worth mention for any reason?
Yeah, Oscar Delp and Bryce Lance, and those are two names that you hope that you continue to hear if you're a Saints fan over the course of this season, over the course of this offseason, because those are guys that have a real chance to find a way to contribute during their rookie years. Delp just moves really well, and whether he's running a route out into the flats or he's running a route over the middle and the seam and things like that, just a really easy player to watch. Soft hands, really precise in the way that he moves and everything. And one of the things that I enjoyed seeing him do was there was another tight end that was really struggling the second day, had a real hard time bringing in some passes and things like that. And Oscar Delp was the one, the drafted rookie, was the one that went over to him and patted him on the helmet or on the shoulder and looked to give him some words of encouragement and kind of helped him, pick his head back up, because he was pretty clearly visibly frustrated. So it was cool to just see, a guy like Oscar Delp come in and kind of establish himself in that way right away. And then Bryce Lance, another, this is a consistent theme amongst all these pass catchers, is that they're really good movement guys. But man, him running these routes and just how quick and twitchy he can be, we know that to be the case for Jordan Tyson, but you're looking for that to kind of come from NDSU and take a big leap coming from that FCS school when it comes to Bryce Lance, and you certainly saw that with him. And he was another one that showed a little bit of the intangibles too. He ran this really nice slant route, but the ball careened off his hands, wasn't able to bring it in. He goes over, gets out of the way of the drill, goes over and does some push-ups. And no one else did that, right? That wasn't a thing that the Saints had instilled upon all these pass catchers. Hey, if you drop the passes, you got to give me some push-ups. I asked him after the practice if that was something that he picked up from North Dakota State University, because he talked about having that championship standard. And he said it's something that goes back even far beyond that, to where, look, if I mess up, I want to hold myself accountable so that I can move on from it and get it right the next play. And so I asked him, what's the number? Like, how many push-ups do you do when you drop a pass? And he just kind of frankly said, well, it depends on how mad I am about the drop. So we'll start at 10. And then he said there's no real limit in terms of how far up he can go.
At Ross Jackson NOLA, it's where you can get him on Twitter, LouisianaSports.net, Locked On Saints podcast, YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed. Always appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Thank you, bud. You take care. Stay safe. Talk to you soon.
Be well. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Hey, right now, our friends over at First South Farm Credit have a farm photo contest going on. I just shared it on Facebook. If you want to go check out social media, you can see it. But you can win a cool prize pack. All you got to do is submit your favorite photo from the farm, from your land. Beautiful photo of a wild turkey there that someone submitted. You can get all the info of how you can. There's a junior photo contest as well, by the way, for the kids. So check that out. Go to First South Land on social media. First South Farm Credit. First South Farm Credit on their Facebook or Instagram. First South Farm Credit. You see the farm-focused photo contest right there. How you can win. Entries go through the end of this month. So you still got a couple of weeks there, 3 weeks, I guess, 20 days to the end of May. First South Farm Credit. Of course, if you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com, FirstSouthLand.com. For more than a century, they've been first in helping Louisianians buy land. FirstSouthLand.com, FirstSouthLand.com. By the way, just one quick follow-up to Ross there. The next sort of key dates in the Saints offseason, this is up at LouisianaSports.net if you want to check it out. The NFL schedule release is this Thursday, so we'll know not only we already know who everyone's opponents are, but the when and where is sort of the next thing. So that's coming up May 14th. Then the next time the Saints will be on the field will be for OTAs. It's organized team activities, which are voluntary. That's coming up May 27th, 28th. Then again, June 1st, the 3rd and the 4th. June 8th, then the 10th and 11th. So OTAs coming up here at the end of May. You're in a little more than 2 weeks. They'll be back on the practice field, and it's voluntary. It won't be a mandatory minicamp until the middle of June, the 16th and the 17th. So Saints have a few weeks here without on-field work with the team, but we'll know the schedule coming up on Thursday. The NFL, they've done a brilliant job of becoming a 12-month league. Always having something in the news cycle as it continues to unfold. This offseason, we'll certainly follow it. A lot of expectation here. Increased expectation year 2 with Kellen Moore and Tyler Shuck. All right, it's After Further Review. Monday show is brought to you by Relief Windows. Let me knock out a break. We'll come back. We'll go around the SEC. Also, before this hour's over, the UFL continues to innovate in the same way the XFL did, and a way that we saw this weekend that I think is something – I hope is something we see across all sports leagues in the future. We'll tell you what it is coming up here shortly. It's AFR.
AFR.
All right, we're getting a taste of that warmer weather. 78 degrees right now on a cloudy day with a high of 80. We got up by the end of this week, we're going to be in the upper 80s with heat indexes in the 90s. Make sure you're taking care of your AC. Tell you all the time, River City's 1 Hour Air, not too late for your preseason AC tune-up. Can't remember the last time you did it, it's time. If you did it last year, it's time, because this is something you should do every year. One of their technicians from River City's 1 Hour Air will come out to the house. They'll clean your AC, get it tuned up, running efficiently. And the diagnostic is so important as well, because if there is an issue with your HVAC system, if they find it early when it's a little bitty issue, that can prevent it from becoming a very big, very costly issue. Also extend the life of your unit. So you put off a very expensive replacement even longer. Extend the life of your unit. Make sure you get this preventative maintenance done. Mention the Moscona special. They'll knock $30 off the price. River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Every ounce of a Raising Cane's lemonade has been hand-squeezed that day from fresh lemons before being served over our signature crushed ice. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinecenterla.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Shane Laird on the text line said we need a Jordan watch drop. Jordan Tyson.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, that wasn't there. Okay, we can do that.
All right, here you go. I'll lay it down for you, Muse. Here, you ready?
Hold on.
Well, you have Sterlitz, but okay. Ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go. Jordan watch. And then let me just give you Jordans, because you can have watch if you want the Panda watch. Right? Jordan. All right, there you go.
All right, I'll get on that.
All right. I mean, that really is a miss to, like, have him no-show practice and not give people a heads up.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole conversation about Tyson is he's awesome, but is he injury prone? And then he runs around the first day, and then he's not there the second day. You have to – I'm not saying there's anything wrong. I don't think there is. But you have to anticipate that people are going to wonder, hey, is something wrong? Like, get in front of it. Control the narrative.
PR, like basic public relations stuff there.
101.
Yeah. 101. First class you're ever going to take, they teach you that. Nah, let's just let our head coach go out there and get peppered with questions.
Jordan watch. Find out in 2 weeks. But Jordan watch. Austin said, what's your opinion on Nate Yeske? I think Nate Yeske's really good at his job. And maybe I'll talk about that coming up in the next hour. I think people can be good at their jobs and have a bad day, a bad season. I think that's very possible. I think Jay Johnson's obviously eluded his job, and this has not been a good year. Does it mean Jay Johnson's not a good coach? Or did they misevaluate, fail to develop certain guys? Yeah, I mean, both can be true. I think it's similar with Yeske this year. But I'll dive deeper into that. I do have some thoughts on that. Get to that in hour number 2. All right, it's after further review. We are glad you're with us. We are brought to you by Parish Restoration. Tons of rain this weekend, man. If you had any water intrusion at your house, and you need restoration or remediation services, have mold or think you might, Parish Restoration can help. Go to parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. They'll spray their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment, that mold remediation done right the first time. But they can also do the full restoration and remediation efforts. So if you had water intrusion and you need to get the water out, get it dried up, cleaned up, they can help you out with all of it. Parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens. A veteran-owned business, my buddy Jim Woodworth, Air Force veteran, great guy with his career in recovery and restoration efforts. Told you he was in New York post 9/11, here post BP oil spill, helping with the cleanup and the recovery. Now every day at your home, your business with Parish Restoration. Parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. All right, it is After Further Review. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Missouri Tigers.
This is a scary story, but thankfully it's not more serious. Missouri running back Ahmad Hardy in stable condition after sustaining a gunshot wound while at a concert on Sunday. Underwent surgery. Timeline for return to football activities is unknown, but they do believe he will be able to return. Can you take that down a smidge, please? School did not release additional details on the shooting, and they've declined to reveal more information as of this point, considering it's an active investigation. Hardy's 20 years old. Of course, transferred into Mizzou this past year, where ran for over 1,600 yards, which led the SEC.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Five-star cornerback Dante Wright has flipped from Georgia to the Miami Hurricanes, so he's Georgia's fifth decommitment already during this 2027 cycle. He's a five-star corner out of California, had been pledged to the Bulldogs, now is flipped to the Hurricanes. 6'1", 170. Georgia now with 6 commits for 2027.
The Auburn Tigers.
Tigers landed a commitment from 2027 quarterback Gary Chapman Jr. Had been committed to Wake Forest, so clearly our guys there at Auburn doing bang-up work, flipping quarterbacks from Wake Forest. Huge. Backed off his commitment from the Demon Deacons in May, now is flipped to Auburn. 6'1", 190, the 60th best quarterback in the country, the 120th best player out of Georgia. I mean, just nailing it over there on the Plains.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
I'm sure he's going to be awesome. Kentucky's landed a 2027 offensive tackle, 3-star Ian Walker. Now, this is the kind of guy who typically lands at Kentucky, right? Picked the Wildcats over Florida and Ohio State. That, according to Hayes Fawcett, he's the 35th best offensive tackle in the country. Kentucky, 8th in the country there in Will Stein's inaugural class as of right now.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Speaking of offensive linemen, Shane Beamer landed Jackson Elston on Sunday. Previous said he was going to make his commitment on June 20th, but decided not to wait, pulled the trigger. 6'4", 325, picked South Carolina over Arkansas and Georgia Tech. He's the 72nd ranked interior offensive lineman in the country. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Our Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Belated Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Hope you had a great day. Erica had a good day. Got to go see my mom as well. Muse, did Marilyn Monroe Musso have a good Mother's Day?
She did. She hadn't
finally acknowledging her name.
Yeah.
I see.
Well, I mean, it's not her full name.
Well,
but
I mean, you
she
didn't rebut.
She did. We didn't do much. She hadn't been feeling too well. She's kind of just getting back to, feeling like herself. So we'll do it a different weekend. But
right.
She had a good day.
Good. Paulie, Sam, is Mother's Day more about Sam or about your mom?
More about Sam, but we went to her mom and my mom's house, so celebrated all three of them.
All right. Sam is now a mom times 2.
She is.
Yeah. Is it different now with 2 as opposed to 1?
Very different.
Mother's Day?
Oh, no, not Mother's Day.
Well, no, I'm sure life is.
Yes,
I'm quite certain life is different with a second child as opposed to one child. But good, man. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Belated Happy Mother's Day. Hope you all had an awesome day. And for those who are doing Mother's Day without their moms, you spend some time remembering them and the blessing they were to all of us. So belated Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Hope you had a great day. All right, it's after further review. Let's not get a quick break. Come back and wrap up hour number 1 when we come back. One of the things we've seen pretty regularly with the spring football leagues has been innovation that eventually becomes adopted by the NFL or college football. And if you haven't seen it yet over the weekend, it was Friday actually in the UFL game, the next iteration of that was seen, and I sure hope this is something we see across the board, not just in football, but all sports. We'll get to it next on AFR.
After further review.
AFR is brought to you by Glow Resources, GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. Remember, there's so many benefits of doing business with Glow Resources, in part because they handle everything. It's complete workforce solutions for business growth. When you work with Glow Resources, they handle all of it. Hiring, onboarding, payroll, benefits, injury support. They do it all so you can focus on growth. So go to glowresources.com, glowresources.com, GLO, glowresources.com. They're complete employer solutions. As we always say, home base is right here in Baton Rouge off of Perkins. It's Perkins and Quail Oak right near Pennington. But they've got offices in New Orleans and in Florida and Texas and all over the region, and they help businesses all over the country and the world. So no matter where you are, if you need permanent employee solutions, you need Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It's not easy to be a champion.
It's built from every swing, pitch, and game all season long. In the grind, the focus,
and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes. Because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
At Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer, we know you deserve value when you purchase equipment. Right now, take advantage of the powerful 3025E tractor for just $297 a month, with 0% financing for 72 months. Tractor packages with a trailer also available. Whether you're tackling land, property, or projects, get your job done. Don't wait. This offer ends June 30th, 2026. Some restrictions apply. Visit sunequip.com or stop by a Sunshine location today.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Yeah, the XFL debuted like 25 years ago. I'm talking about the original iteration of the XFL. And remember, one of the real innovative things they did was instead of a coin toss to determine possession, they had a fumble drill. Look it up, kids, if you don't remember this. But, I mean, if you're less than 25 years old, if you're younger than, well, I guess, hell, if you're under 40, you probably don't remember that. But they would put the ball down and two players would just go scram. It was a fumble drill. Whoever recovered the fumble, that team got the ball to start the game. That didn't carry over to the NFL because apparently risking life and limb in a fumble drill to determine possession, not a great idea when you have multi-million dollars invested in players. I guess you could always take like the 53rd guy on the roster and say, hey, go make it happen for us. But there are things from the XFL and subsequent other professional football leagues that have both tried and failed that have been carried over. One of the things from the original XFL that has been integrated and is now a part of the game we watch every day is Skycam. Skycam was an original, the camera over the huddle and the wire that drapes across the field, that view, that Skycam view, which gives you some awesome shots behind the huddle and things like that, behind the quarterback looking downfield. Skycam was an XFL original technology that the NFL integrated. The kickoff rules, the new kickoff rules we see in the NFL, that was in this new iteration of spring football, where instead of running 70 yards downfield is like a battering ram with a collision that was just eliminating kickoffs from football, the new rules where the two walls are 10 yards apart from each other, and so you're not having these full-speed collisions from 70 yards downfield, but you're still having the possibility of a big play in the kicking game. That was something that was UFL. So I'm always interested in what these leagues are going to cook up because it gives you the opportunity to test it in a way that is going to be largely inconsequential, right? I mean, they can be more provocative and proactive and try new things because they're trying to garner attention. So it can be a testing ground for a lot of different things. Not that dissimilar from Major League Baseball trying ABS, the automated balls and strikes, in the minor leagues. You tried in the minor leagues or in spring training games where you just don't have as much on the line as far as a competitive balancing to see how it works. It's a trial, a test case, see how it goes. Well, this weekend on Friday, in a UFL game, during the television broadcast, they did a live in-game interview with an official on the field, well, on the sideline, after a controversial call. This is how it sounded.
De Leon have some conversations with Ricky Prohl about a penalty or not a penalty with these contested throws, especially to Hakeem. How do you judge that?
If there's a back shoulder and I'm looking at that and, there's no material restriction, I'm just going to leave it alone, to be honest with you.
So if the throw is not where it should be, if that throw's not there, you're not going to reward a poor throw on something like that?
Yeah, that works. That works for me.
How difficult is that call? Is that pass interference versus a contested catch?
I'll be right back.
De Leon have some conversations with Ricky.
Hey, Brock, I need to go officiate this play now. But I love that. I think some in-game interviews are totally worthless. The pre-game interview or halftime interview with the coach, largely worthless unless you're getting some piece of detailed information. There's an injury to a key player. You want to know if he's going to return to the game. You're asking the coach going to the locker room for an update. That is certainly a relevant piece of information. The whole what's the mindset, what are you hoping to prove, all the abstract crap that doesn't actually influence anything, it's worthless. I'd rather the coach and the player be focusing on the game. But in that instance, if you can actually get an answer to a question from people involved in the action, and officials are integral, talked about this forever. I think officials should have to go answer questions. I mean, they are a vital part of the action in all sports, and they should have to answer for the decisions they make. They should be held accountable like everyone else involved, like coaches and players are. So, and similarly, as officials are graded and there's accountability there to determine postseason assignments and things like that, I think like having an official in the booth has been so helpful to explain things happening during the game. Talking to an official during or after a game is something I think should happen. I hope does happen eventually. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought about Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, Arco.com, Arco.com, ARCCO, Arco.com, Industrial Generac Generator Power. That's Arco Power Systems. This is Industrial Generac Generator Power for your business, for your commercial facility, municipalities, government facilities. It's critical backup energy solutions. And at Arco, everything is turnkey. They sell, service, install. They can even rent you that generator. And remember, when the storm's in the Gulf, it's too late. Just like with your home. Think of it from your business perspective. How does it affect your business when the power goes out? Can't afford to be offline. Arco Power Systems can get you set up today. Arco.com, Arco.com, ARCCO, Arco.com. All over Louisiana, Texas, west to San Antonio, east to Mobile, north to Little Rock, all over the Quad State area. 5 states, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 states. Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, Arco.com, Arco.com. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. Lane Kiffin, his Vanity Fair interview has gone public. Ole Miss people are pissed. We'll talk about it after SportsCenter.
After Further Review.
Success takes a team and not just on the field. At FMOL Health, that team is more than 20,000 strong, delivering care across Louisiana and Mississippi as one connected, mission-driven health system. As a $5 billion health system with nationally recognized quality and not one but 2 exceptional workplace awards from Gallup, FMOL Health has built something people trust and continues to grow to meet the needs of the communities they serve. And when LSU needed a partner to care for its student athletes, they chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner. That tells you everything you need to know, because that same level of care isn't just for athletes, it's for you, your family, and communities across the region. This is bigger than sports. It's about having a health system you can count on. FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, and LSU. Together, we roar. Learn more at olrmc.com/LSU, olrmc.com/LSU.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgout.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is...
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick Dellucci. The NBA playoffs roll on tonight with 2 Game 4s. Cavs Pistons in Cleveland in the East. Detroit leading the series 2-1, followed by Thunder and Lakers in the West. OKC with a chance to complete the sweep tonight. Tips at 8 and 10:30 Eastern. Elsewhere, the Bucks are entertaining trade offers for 2-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. Milwaukee discussed a deal before the February deadline after Giannis expressed that it was time for the two sides to part ways. ESPN's Kendrick Perkins thinks Boston opens up an interesting possibility.
I would love to see Giannis Antetokounmpo and a healthy Jason Tatum in the Eastern Conference representing the Boston Celtics. And on top of that, you have a guy that finished top 5 in the MVP voting in Jaylen Brown, who's available, who's just now knocking at the door of his prime.
Perkins on SportsCenter. Meanwhile, Game 5 T-Wolves Spurs coming tomorrow. No suspension for Spurs star Victor Wembanyama after picking up the flagrant 2 yesterday.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Tuesday, it's NFL schedule release week, and I'll tell you my top 5 games I'm most excited about this upcoming season. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Hey, Will.
Hey, bud. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. David Dellucci in 1 hour. So last week, LSU football social media released photos of Lane Kiffin posing for photos that were going to go along with his Vanity Fair feature. Well, that Vanity Fair feature was released here on Monday. And it's a long personality profile of Lane Kiffin. The headline it's by Chris Smith. That's him in the spotlight, how Lane Kiffin eagerly became the most polarizing coach in college football. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I've read this. It's a long read. It's a 15, 20-minute read. And there's not a lot of new. It's Kiffin gave up alcohol, which he said was, affecting his career and his marriage. He divorced and is reconciled with his wife. He was the product of a vagabond childhood where they moved 8 times before he was 20 years old or whatever it was, because his dad was a coach. He has had a lot of messy departures Raiders at 31 years old, leaving Tennessee after 1 year, fired on the tarmac at Southern Cal. It's all stuff we know. Like, I don't know that we learned anything new about Lane Kiffin. His mom did nickname him Helicopter when he was young because he would go in a room, create chaos, and leave. Sounds on brand, right? So I just don't know that there was anything in here that made me go, I didn't know that about Lane. That's really interesting. There was one quote. They quoted Paul Feinbaum in this about not really knowing if Kiffin's genuine. Chris Smith, the author of the piece, wrote, "After 4 hours of talking with Kiffin, I'm stumped. Is he endearingly sincere or so full of poop that it's an art form?" Paul Feinbaum said, quote, "I first met Lane in 2009, and I can't decide either. Lane Kiffin is an introvert, and he's a drama queen. He's sincere, and he doesn't get enough credit for his acting ability. It's what makes him fascinating, and it's what makes him the most polarizing coach in college football." None of that is getting anybody's attention, though, throughout this. There's two quotes attributed to Lane Kiffin that, however, are the things that have gotten the most amount of attention and have drawn the ire of Ole Miss fans here today after reading this. One is where Kiffin talked about the impact of recruiting of having been at Ole Miss. He notes that he was drawn to LSU because it could pump what he calls, quote, adult money into the football program, talking about the roster spend and all that stuff. And he also, I'm going to read this directly, so there's no misconstruing what was written, because this is something that's getting a lot of people up in arms. Kiffin also, I'm reading directly here from the piece. Kiffin also seems willing to indirectly invoke Ole Miss's struggles to distance itself from symbols like the Confederate flag, Colonel Rebel, and the nickname Ole Miss itself. When he was coaching there, Kiffin says top recruits would tell him, quote, "Hey, coach, we really like you, but my grandparents aren't letting me move to Oxford, Mississippi. That doesn't come up when you say Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Parents were sitting here this weekend saying the campus's diversity feels so great. It feels like there's no segregation, and we want that for our kid because that's the real world," end quote. Parenthetically, he writes, the next day Kiffin added, quote, "I just hope my comments come across as respectful to Ole Miss. There's some things that I'm saying that are factual. They're not shots," end quote. Goes on to note, the population of Baton Rouge is 51% black, 36% white. Oxford is 66% white, 26% black. That's the entire context. Now, what a lot of people are saying is bringing up rebel flags, Colonel Reb, segregation, all that stuff. What I think is important to note, Lane Kiffin didn't say any of those things. I'm not here defending Lane Kiffin. What I am defending is accuracy. Now, we do not know the context in which Lane Kiffin made those comments. Was he asked about diversity or race? Was he asked about how that might have influenced recruiting? Did he just volunteer this unprovoked? We don't know. It's one of the reasons why long-form podcasts, long-form video, things like the Players Tribune, where someone can write their own text and it's not subject to an editor or chopping blocks, those things are very popular now, because I don't know how in the conversation that Christopher Smith had with Lane Kiffin that came up. We, the reader, don't know that. But what he's saying there is there were recruits that sometimes their parents, grandparents had an issue with Oxford. Now, I want to be very clear. I am not going to take a shot at Oxford, Mississippi. The hard part, I think, sometimes for you and me or anybody who's a fan of a school, when talking about another school or that town or city, whatever, that's hard, is to remove whatever emotion you have about that's associated with the school and related to the place. Let me say it another way. It's hard for me to tell you, let's talk about Oxford, Mississippi, without considering how you feel about Ole Miss, the athletic department, right? But if you just think about Oxford, Mississippi, it's a beautiful place. It is a beautiful town in North Mississippi. It is clean. They have a low crime rate. They have great schools, very nice people. Like, if you're raising a family and you want sort of like a small town, Oxford's beautiful. If you've been, you understand exactly what I'm saying. Now, you go to the game and you got 10-year-olds flipping you off and stuff in the Grove because it's because you're LSU and it's go to hell LSU and all that. Like, maybe you feel in a different way. But I'm just talking about remove, if you can, your fandom and just think about Oxford as a place to live. Very nice place to live. But it's also 20,000 people. And so if you're Lane Kiffin, and to finish the point, though, about the diversity piece, I guess that didn't resonate or didn't really move me because I feel like every SEC town has dealt with some iteration of that conversation. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think it matters if you're LSU or Ole Miss or Mississippi State or Alabama or Auburn or Florida or Georgia or Tennessee. Like, every SEC school at some point in their history has had to deal with that conversation, that as an objection. No one is immune from that conversation. Like, we talk about here, Collis Temple Jr. broke the color barrier at LSU. He was the first black scholarship athlete. It's something that we celebrate here, a guy like Collis in that very a transformational moment. Well, every SEC school has that, right? Has that moment, that athlete that's celebrated and should be. We celebrate Sylvester Croom for becoming the first black head football coach at an SEC school. Like, all those things should be recognized and celebrated, but it also speaks to a part of our nation's history. So I guess because that's just a very normal conversation that all of us living here have had at some point, that didn't move me really one way or another. I remember there was a time where LSU had like the purple, remember the purple and gold rebel, like Confederate flag? Or I don't know what you call it, but whatever. Like, that was a thing that became a hot button issue years ago, and they don't sell it anymore. And okay, like, I guess my point is we've all been subject to that conversation one way or another. And Lane Kiffin saying that in this article, I don't think is painting with a broad brush. I think what you're looking at is no matter what school, you could always have a recruit or a few that give certain objections like that. I'm sure there's people who don't like Baton Rouge and would say the same. So I guess that part of it was just didn't move me. I think the truth about a part of the conversation about Lane Kiffin leaving Oxford and coming to Baton Rouge is where he is in his life. Listen, I want to stay on time. Let me break really quickly. I want to come back and I want to pick that up because I think this is a part that shouldn't be lost. And there was another, by the way, there was a second quote in this piece that Lane Kiffin had that has kind of upset a lot of Ole Miss fans. So I'll pick up with that when we come back. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Hey, Renaissance Baton Rouge, awesome spot. Right there on Bluebonnet, near I-10, across from the Mall of Louisiana and Perkins Row. And so excited because a couple of weeks ago, I got to go meet Chef Reed, the new executive chef there at Tallulah inside of Renaissance Baton Rouge. And they've rolled out a totally new menu at Tallulah. I've explained Tallulah for years to you. It's a casual, upscale dining experience. This isn't just like a hotel restaurant. There's a lot of like locals, like Baton Rouge people who you're going out for a night, a romantic date, or you need to entertain some clients for lunch or dinner. They'll go to Tallulah, even if you're not staying at Renaissance Baton Rouge. It's a great restaurant. So get your reservations at Tallulah or pop in for a business lunch any day and check out the new menu that Chef Reed has curated. It's awesome. You'll love it. Find your new favorite item tonight over at Tallulah Baton Rouge inside of the Renaissance Hotel.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. Trusted by champions, built for Louisiana.
Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
If you're looking for work, River Parish Contractors is looking for you. Call Big Jake at River Parish Contractors. I'm going to give you the number here in just a quick second. Again, call Big Jake at River Parish Contractors, or you can log on to rpcontractors.com. Remember, maybe you got a great job right now, but the place you work doesn't want you to work overtime. You don't have to worry about that with River Parish Contractors. All the overtime you want to work, come on down. They got it for you. You want to work night shifts when it's cooler? You can do that at River Parish Contractors. They have an incredible benefits plan as well. And man, at River Parish Contractors right now, they are hiring for so many different positions: pipe fitters, boiler makers, crane operators, pipe cutters, welders. Call Big Jake at 318-547-1000, 318-547-1000. Be home with your family every night. 318-547-1000.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
All right, glad you're with us here. We always appreciate Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. We're talking about the Vanity Fair piece, the Lane Kiffin feature that's out. You're just joining us. We opened up the hour kind of reacting to the one piece, the quote about some of the recruiting hurdles that Lane Kiffin says he faced when there were some players who said, "We like you, coach, but my parents, grandparents won't let me move to Oxford, Mississippi," insinuating the racial undertones. Although I do think it's important, as we've said, just inaccuracy. This isn't like just staunchly defending Lane Kiffin. For all the people that have talked about Colonel Reb and the rebel flag and all that, like, Lane Kiffin did not say that. He did not say those words at all in this interview. So that's an important, I think, a very important piece. But where we left it was talking about, like, Oxford being, like, objectively a very nice place to raise a family. I think when you look at Lane Kiffin, when he got to Oxford, Mississippi 6 years ago, he had young children. And at that point, that's a great place to raise young children. But at 51 years old now, Lane is a single man who has his two oldest children are in college. We know Landry's now was at Ole Miss, but now is at I think she's actually finishing Ole Miss, but has a place in Baton Rouge. She's dating Witt. I think we know that. Their middle child, Presley, is a volleyball player in California at USC. And then Knox, we know, is going to be a junior at the lab school. I don't know about y'all, but like when I was a junior in high school, I wasn't aching to spend all my free time with my parents. Right? Like, this is part of life that everyone deals with. If you're a parent and you think to when your children got to college or maybe late high school, they stop spending their free time with you. They want to be with their friends. So your social life no longer revolves around your kids. shuttling them to and from school, athletic events, extracurriculars, maybe hanging out with your kids, friends, parents. Like, life changes. And so if you're Lane Kiffin and you're 51 and you're divorced and single and your children are older and grown and doing their own thing, and you live in a town of 20,000 people where you can't go anywhere without being recognized, is that the life you want? Is that the lifestyle you want? It becomes not just singularly about football. I'm not sitting here trying to suggest that Baton Rouge is Manhattan. But Baton Rouge, compared to Oxford, is a very different way of life. New Orleans is an hour down the road. Baton Rouge has places that Lane frequents, as we all know from his Instagram stories, like Supper Club and Colonel's Club, and he goes to the different coffee bars that he posts photos from all the time. Like, there's a lot of things socially to do in Baton Rouge that's 5 times, actually more than 5 times, 15 times Greater Baton Rouge, the size of Oxford. It's a very different lifestyle. And what at this point in his life that he decided he wanted, in addition to all the other things. And this is the other quote that got a lot of Ole Miss fans upset. The piece finishes with talking about going back to Oxford for the game in September, which we all know is going to be a whole scene. And this is the final graph of the story here in Vanity Fair. I'll read the whole paragraph so as not to miss anything. It's just like 2 sentences. But Kiffin closes his eyes and pictures walking back onto the field he called home for 6 seasons. Quote, "I don't know if I should make this analogy," he says, but of course he does because he can't resist throwing a little more fuel on the fire. Quote, "The fans are like, it's a breakup, and he goes to the girl we know, who's considered by everyone outside the state to be a better girl. Now you're going back to like a big family reunion with a new girl." End quote. "The spectacle will be great for TV ratings. The Lane Kiffin show is never dull." He effectively says he broke up with the girl and now is going to the family reunion with a better girl. No matter who you are, that's never going to sit well. If you've ever been broken up with or gone through anything like that, that's a very relatable analogy that he's drawing. And the author, Chris Smith, is right to say Kiffin thinks about if he should make the analogy, but of course he does because he's Kiffin and he's always going to kick the anthill. But there's also an objective truth to that. Like, forget about if you think Ole Miss is on par with LSU, think LSU is better, or the result of this year's football game. Like, that doesn't matter. Like, let's deal with objective truths. Objectively, LSU has 4 football national titles, 3 since 2003. Ole Miss does not. Ole Miss hasn't won a conference title in 6 decades. Ole Miss has a football stadium that after expansion holds 55, 60,000 people. LSU Stadium holds 102,000 people. You want to talk about objective numbers like budgets or valuation? If you look at the valuations that were recently came up for like putting a valuation on the athletic department in the SEC, Texas is number 1 at $2.38 billion. Georgia's next, followed by Bama, Oklahoma, Tennessee. LSU is 6 with a valuation of $1.23 billion. $1.23 billion. Ole Miss, $591 million. LSU's valuation is double Ole Miss's. So, like, this isn't shade. It's just the reality. The two have different levels of resource and historical success and all the things that make LSU a better job than Ole Miss. This, I'm not even telling you subjective opinion. Objective fact based on money, revenue, resources, history, all of it, LSU far outweighs Ole Miss, which is why Lane Kiffin took this job at the time he did in his life when it made sense for him to move to a place that's bigger with more resources and all of that sort of stuff. I'm not saying it makes it any easier for Ole Miss fans to cope with emotionally. I mean, someone they loved someone that, despite what they all say, they love to throw shade at him now, someone they loved, who they thought loved them back, left them for someone they consider a rival. Like, that stings. There's no way around it. Like, that sucks. And they'll never get over that. And now they got to face him every year, and it's only going to further breed the hatred and the venom that's all going to come out. And when Lane goes and says things like that, it's only going to kick that anthill even more. But he's achieving the end he wants, which is attention. Lane has said this so many times, that he is so active on social media because it's a way that recruits and their families feel like they know him. He goes and sits in living rooms, and players, parents, recruits, parents like, I feel like I know you, because they follow him on social and they see him out there. He is a celebrity coach, which makes him a really interesting character, because that is not what he is like in real life, at least not my experience, limited experience. For a guy that is gregarious and bombastic and a troll, and so public on social media, he is not that in person. He is more introverted and a little to himself and soft-spoken. I mean, we see him in front of a microphone. Like, we're in the press conference, and he's almost whispering. They have to turn the volume of the, like, if you weren't listening on the speakers, like, you sitting 10 feet from him, you couldn't hear him. He's speaking so lowly. So, last Thursday, Our Lady of the Lake had their Big Bash, which is a gigantic fundraiser for the foundation. And as we've talked about, Our Lady of the Lake is the single biggest booster of LSU athletics. It's a gigantic event for the lake. And that's the type of event you would think. Look, Will Wade was at Charles Harvey's table and was there the whole night. He was one of the first people there, was there the whole night. Shook hands, took pictures, everything. I didn't see Lane Kiffin. You would think that's an opportunity for him to be front and center and shake hands and meet people and be visible. I saw on social media a photo he took with E.J. Kuiper from FMOL, but I didn't see Lane there. Apparently he came briefly. But all that to say, I don't think he wants to be there in that big environment. I think he's more comfortable being in a smaller, sort of like to himself space. It just shows the contrast or the contradiction of what Lane is like publicly or on social media and what he is actually like. And I think the comments that the author of this piece, Christopher Smith, said, they quoted Feinbaum, who effectively said the same thing. I think it illustrates that. But I don't think we learned anything new about Lane Kiffin. And no matter what Lane Kiffin ever says about Ole Miss, it is always going to draw the ire of Ole Miss fans. And that's just going to be part of this reality with Kiffin and Ole Miss because of their now fractured relationship forever. That is irreparable. Like, they'll never get back together. Maybe at some point in their future, they might honor those teams. Like, it's hard to think about this in these terms because it was 60 years ago. But, Paul Dietzel won the first national championship at LSU in 1958. He left for Army. And I'm sure that was a very bitter breakup at the time. He left for what was a better job. And he ended up not working out there, went to South Carolina, ended up coaching against LSU at South Carolina in a game he oddly scheduled when he was the athletic director. But then spent the balance of his life in Baton Rouge and became a beloved figure. Bygones became bygones. I'm going to be fascinated to see what happens with Nick Saban, who is the greatest coach that's ever coached in the sport, led LSU to its first national title in 45 years, left for the NFL, which everyone understood, but became very bitter when he came back into the SEC at Alabama and ended up kicking LSU's ass for a decade and a half. But eventually, we're going to honor that 2003 national championship team, and they're going to bring Nick Saban back on the field, and he's going to be applauded because he's no longer a threat. Maybe that day will come in Oxford where they'll recognize the 6 years, the playoff berth, and all the stuff that Lane Kiffin did there. Maybe. It's not going to be anytime soon, though, that would happen. And the more Lane makes comments like this, the more that fracture grows. Whereas Nick Saban, throughout all the years he was at Alabama, only praised LSU and his time in Baton Rouge and talked about the friends he had here and how much he loved it. And honestly, he's one of the reasons that Lane is the coach here now, because we know that he consulted Lane and told him to take the LSU job instead of Florida. So there's so many interesting variables at play here. But the thing that's getting all the attention today is the racial component of what's being perceived. But I think the most important thing to come away from that is to know that Lane Kiffin didn't use the word Confederate flag or rebel flag or Colonel Reb or any of that stuff. Those are the things that are being implied, and I don't like revisionist history. We have quotes from Lane Kiffin where he told what I guess we should believe to be a true story that he had in some interactions with recruits that he thinks would be different in Baton Rouge. And maybe it will be, and maybe it won't be. But that's part of the conversation that living in the South is a part of this region in our country's history. And it's a thing that does get brought up, which is maybe why I'm a little immune to it reading it in the Vanity Fair piece today. Not to say it's insignificant. It's just to say there are people who are going to bring that up always. And I don't think that's new for Ole Miss or LSU or Alabama or Florida or Kentucky or Tennessee or South Carolina. People who want to make that statement will, and you choose to interpret it how you want. I don't think it speaks to the type of place that Oxford is, a place to live, or what it was for Lane Kiffin and for his family. I just think he realized he had a better opportunity, a good time in his life to move, and so he moved, which is what coaches do. Now, all that to say, if he doesn't win at LSU, they can run his ass out of here too. So you better go win. All right, it's after further review. If you want to react, feel free. You can always email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. We are brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, 924-2020. You want to see 2020, call the Williamson Eye Center at 924-2020. No matter your age or refractive issue, maybe you're nearsighted like me. Man, it's been, September will be 8 years since I had LASIK. Wish I'd done it 8 years prior. Don't let that be you. Don't waste time shoving contacts in your eyes or reaching for your glasses or having outdated prescriptions. Man, just go to see Dr. Blake Williamson. Schedule that consultation and change your life. The Williamson Eye Center can make it happen. 924-2020, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. All right, y'all, it's after further review. We're glad you're rolling along with us about halfway home on this Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. Let me knock out a quick break. I did get some questions about Nate Yeske, the LSU baseball Tigers. Of course, we'll get to that. David Dellucci is here in about 30 minutes from right now. Kellen Moore also spoke after Saints rookie minicamp. I want to dive into that. We've got a ton to do, and glad you're hanging out with us here on this Monday edition of AFR. Stick around.
AFR.
Peptides are all the rage, man. Let's listen to this radio station. Seems like every other ad, somebody endorsing peptides. What I can tell you is I actually take peptides and have for a while. And I get my peptides at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Hey, Matt, I thought they were an ED clinic. Yes, they do ED treatments. But they do so much more than just ED. Hormone replacement therapy, and yes, peptides. Peptides are strains of amino acids, and they're designed to help maximize your body's natural function of a certain thing. So you want to clear brain fog, you want to sleep better at night, you want to build muscle, you want to burn fat, you want to reinvigorate your libido, you want to heal better, muscle recovery, heal better after surgery or things like that. There are peptides that can help. Goodwood has the lowest prices, never any contracts, and tons of knowledge. Highly recommend you check them out. YourGoodwood.com, YourGoodwood.com.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
It's not easy to be a champion.
It's built from every swing,
pitch and game all season long. In the grind, the focus, and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes. Because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Spring is here, and that means it's time for a little cha-ching. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Citizens Bank and Trust are giving you the chance to win $5,000 cash with the Spring Cha-Ching Sweepstakes. Head to 1045ESPN.com and get registered today for your chance to win $5K. It's quick, it's easy, and someone is going to walk away with serious spending money. Spring Cha-Ching Sweepstakes presented by Citizens Bank and Trust and 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Austin on the text line said, what's your opinion of Nate Yeskie? Just read his bio, man. Gone to the College World Series 6 times, 2 national titles, only active coach in Division I to have gone to a College World Series with 4 different programs, 16 regional appearances, 7 supers. He's had 2 National Pitcher of the Years, 2 College World Series Most Outstanding Players. I mean, Baseball America pulled 70 Division I head coaches. He was named a top assistant in college baseball. I think Nate Yeskie's pretty great. And he's got a long history, a long resume illustrating such. It is entirely possible that a really good coach has a bad year. And I think that's what this was. Is not completely over yet. They still got 3 games, and then whatever they do in the SEC tournament. I think what happened this year is a combination of a lot of circumstance that was bad. Some of it is certainly on the coaching staff, some of it's on the players, some of it is bad luck. You know, you have to give Nate Yeskie credit for developing Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson. Like, you can't criticize today what's happened without also giving credit for what happened with Anderson and Ianson, and also Chase Shores. and Paul Skeens. Well, I guess no, forgive me, Paul Skeens was Wes Johnson. You can't get around giving credit where it's due, okay? If you're going to, say it often. If you're going to criticize, okay, criticize when warranted, but you have to give credit where it's due. And Yeski has a long, long, long history of great success as a pitching coach. Now, is it disappointing this year that Casey Evans didn't become a guy that got you deep into games, like a front of the rotation Friday night ace like you had with Anderson? I don't even want to mention Skeens because it feels like that's just on a different planet. But Alex Lang, go through the years. Luke Holman was a really good Friday night pitcher for you. You didn't have that this year. Is it unfortunate that Cooper Williams and Maverick Rizzi didn't take the step in year 2 we thought they would? William Schmidt can be thrown into that mix as well. Schmidt was better this year than he was last year, but we know he passed on a 7-figure contract coming out of high school, and we saw Anderson, Louisiana kid, mostly a midweek guy as a freshman, then boom, as a sophomore, front of the rotation, stud, 3rd pick of the draft. We tried to draw the parallels. I did it too. We tried to draw the parallels of Anderson to Schmidt, and it just didn't go that way this year for Schmidt. I think he's better, but not maybe as good. The walks this year were egregious. How much of that was maybe, we talked about this a few weeks ago with Todd Walker, when you're talking about pitch calling. You get into a 2-ball count, 3-ball count. You keep going off speed. Why? Maybe because you don't want to serve up a gopher ball over the heart of the plate and let your opponent hit it against a defense that doesn't, for much of the season, regularly back up their pitchers with great defense. I think a lot of that just caused LSU this year to break tendencies and trends. I would have loved to have seen Maverick Rizzi, Cooper Williams, William Schmidt all perform better than they did this year. Didn't happen. And then I think there's also circumstance. Like, Evans being scratched 20 minutes before the opener against Mississippi State sucked. If Casey Evans gives you 1 inning against Mississippi State and all else is equal, you win at least 1 game in that series. I mean, that's unfortunate. Cooper Moore was your number 2. So for a chunk of this season, you didn't have, and by the way, he was one of the few guys that actually consistently threw strikes. So you lose your top 2 guys, everybody moves up 2 chairs. Now, your Sunday guy is your Friday guy. Your Tuesday guy, if you have one, is your Saturday guy. You don't have a Sunday guy. Guys that are the back of the bullpen that probably aren't going to typically pitch on a SEC weekend now are pitching on SEC weekends. Like, that's the product of the bad luck circumstance with injuries. So it's a combination of a lot of things, man. I don't lay this at the feet of Nate Yeski saying, get him out of here. Let's throw the baby out with the bathwater, man. I think that's just foolish given his track record of success throughout his career. I think he's a great pitching coach. Not just, I mean, look, I just read all the accolades for you. This is a terrible year. It's a terrible year. It could very well go down as the most losses that LSU's had in conference. This is the first time since the 75-76 school year that football, men's basketball, and baseball will all finish with a losing record in conference. This is just a miserable year. There's no other way to say it. It's the worst year collectively in my lifetime. So that sucks. Do you blow the whole thing up? I don't think so. I think you look at what you can do to refine and be better for it. And that's going to be certainly some members of this team not being back next year. Continuing the development of guys on this roster. And then, yes, going to the portal and your high school class and bringing in a bunch of talented new players to figure out how they all fit together for next year. I'm with you. Like, this is completely unacceptable. It's LSU baseball. I mean, you're expected to play in not just make regionals. You're expected to make it to Omaha every year. Not making the tournament is completely indefensible. That's like Kentucky not making the NCAA basketball tournament. I'm not saying you're going to win a national championship every year, but the expectation is like, it's not even fathomable. Every March, your name is going to be called. Like, you're going to pop up on Selection Sunday. Every Memorial Day, LSU baseball is supposed to be hosting a regional. Are you a top 8 national seed? That varies now just because it's really hard to do that. But, like, you should be playing postseason baseball at the box every year. You should be a top 16. That's It's inarguable every year. That should be a baseline expectation for this program. To not make the field it's indefensible. I can explain it. It doesn't mean I got to defend the process or the outcome. So, but no, I don't think that means you fire the staff and you throw the baby out with the bathwater. I think you trust Jay Johnson to learn from the mistakes of this year and to get it right. All right, brought to you by Evermore, EVAMOR, evermore.com. Remember to stay hydrated, y'all. As it gets warmer outside, you're out in the yard, sweating, you're losing water. Make sure you drink Evermore, a Louisiana product, natural artesian water, healthier alternative for your kiddos, for your family, for elite-level athletes, right out of the natural well on the North Shore Lake Pontchartrain, piped right into the bottling facility there in Covington. If you haven't been, you turn into the Evermore facility. The well is right there when you turn through the gates to go into the facility. I've had the pleasure to walk through the bottling plant. It's an incredible operation they have there. And again, you're supporting a great Louisiana business and buying a Louisiana product when you buy Evermore. They have national distribution, so even if you're listening or watching outside of Louisiana, check the store locator at the website. Go to evermore.com, EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com. Hit the menu. You'll see Find a Store, punch in your zip code, and then boom, it'll pop up the nearest store to you. Evermore.com, EVAMOR, and send me your pictures on social. A lot of y'all do that a lot. When you see Evermore in the wild, you're drinking it, you tweet me, Facebook, Instagram, text me. The folks at Evermore love it when you do that, so we appreciate everyone who does. EVAMOR, evermore.com. All right, y'all, David Dellucci's here in 15 minutes. We'll get Luch's thoughts on the LSU baseball team, the season, and we'll sort of look ahead to the conference tournament with the Florida series this weekend, the conference tournament next week. So Luch is here in about 15 minutes from right now. We're going to do Tigers and the Pros when we come back. Still got to recap Saints rookie minicamp. Kellen Moore met with reporters. Yesterday was 1 year to the day of Derek Carr's retirement. It's an interesting opportunity to look back at how fundamentally the Saints organization has changed in the 366 days now since Derek Carr's retirement. We'll dive into all that. Glad you're hanging out with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Rev Fiber. REV, revfiber.com, revfiber.com. Had a coworker who, with all the storms on Saturday, they had a tree branch fall on the power line by their house, knocked out power, internet, everything. And unfortunate that sucks, obviously, when that happens. But my thought was, I don't have to worry about that because we have Rev Fiber at the Moscona household, at Parish Construction and Roofing, here at Guarantee Media as well. Remember, Rev Fiber, the fiber is buried under the ground, so you don't have to worry about storm and a tree branch falling on the cable line and knocking it out. So you want high-speed internet, up to 5 gigs, faster internet, more reliable internet at a better cost. You want Rev Fiber. Help your home and your business run more efficiently. They also do security, home automation, cable phone, all of it. Rev Fiber. R-E-V, revfiber.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Every Raising Cane's chicken finger is marinated, battered by hand, and cooked to order to perfection. We don't have heat lamps, because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
Championships are won with preparation, and so are great roofs.
The Tigers don't cut corners on the floor.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Thanks, as always, to Brandon and Adrian Holly. Awesome people over at Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades make your home more energy efficient. Increase your home's resale value. Beautify the exterior. It's Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Saints had rookie minicamp over the weekend, Friday, Saturday. Ross Jackson was with us in hour 1. If you missed that recap, you can get it on-demand podcast or YouTube. The big note, obviously, was that Jordan Tyson missed day 2. It was planned as they continue to get him back from the hamstring injury. But also interesting, we got to see Will Clapp out there. Remember, he's taken over for Jari Evans, who's now in Pittsburgh on Mike McCarthy's staff as a full-time staff member there. So Clapp takes that role with the Saints. And Kellen Moore talked about what Will Clapp is adding to the staff.
Will's awesome. I've been fortunate. I was with him in L.A., then last year, obviously, having him here. I think what was a great opportunity, a blessing in disguise. Obviously, he got hurt, and that's a challenge. But we kind of got to see him in a different lens. And the way he kind of started mentoring guys last year and putting himself in a little bit more of a coaching approach to the week, I thought was really beneficial. And so when Jari had the opportunity to go to Pittsburgh, we were excited for Jari, but we obviously had to make a decision, and it was a really simple decision at that point. I mean, Will knows this thing inside and out. He's just played. He's played at a really high level for a number of years in this league, and so his communication with these guys, I think, is going to be excellent.
Will's going to be a great coach if that's the path that he decides he wants to follow after this, but keeps him close to the game, and I love that addition. All right, it is After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
NBA playoffs, Western Conference semifinals, Game 4, Timberwolves Spurs. The T-Wolves that got the dub. Naz Reid.
Should have stayed.
He's been awesome in this series, man. 15 points off the bench, 9 rebounds. That's the third straight near-miss double-double for Naz Reid. That came in 31 minutes. He shot 50% from the floor a night ago. Also took a wicked elbow.
You're burying the lead.
Straight to the jaw from Victor Wembanyama. Resulted in Wemby's ejection from the game. Naz Reid was asked about it after and said, pain is just weakness leaving the body. So you love that quote. And he was fantastic once again. Filthy elbow there, man. That looked like a square shot. Just caught him square. Major League Baseball, Alex Lang got to face his former team a night ago. Royals hosted the Pirates. It was an inning and 2/3 shutout baseball from Lang there in relief. Did have a walk, but ultimately again stranded that runner. Didn't punch out anybody. So a lot of contact. Pretty good stuff, though. Anthony Ianson makes his Double-A debut on Sunday night in a start for the Portland Sea Dogs. 4 innings, 1 run, walked 1, and punched out 4. Keep you updated there on his next start. Cade Anderson was just nails once again for the Arkansas Travelers. 5 2/3, 2 hits, a run, walked 1, punched out 9. He's 3-0. His ERA is 0.60.
Pretty good.
He's just awesome. Gage Jump start for the in AAA. Tough one. Worst one of the year, actually, for him. 4 2/3, 5 earned, walked 5, punched out 8. But other than that, it's been a really, really solid year. And then lastly, John Harbaugh updated the status of OBJ and the Giants. Door's not closed. The goal right now is OBJ's out in Phoenix training, get as ready as he can be, and they'll see where they're at when they get towards training camp. Possible reunion, though, still in the works. That's Tigers and the Pros.
Presented by South Point Volkswagen, airline just north of Highland, southpointvw.com. You know where to find them, new and certified, pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Great dealer specials right now. How about $3,500 off 2026 Crossport? That's available right now. Oh, that's the vehicle I drive. The Atlas is the 3-row, 7-seater family SUV. The Crossport takes out the third row. Beautiful car with all the style, feel, performance of luxury. Great safety features without the cost. Manufactured right here in the U.S. of A. Shop Atlas Crossport right now at southpointvw.com. You can shop by vehicle, by year, body style, make, price. It's all right there. Or model, price. It's all right there at southpointvw.com. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer is South Point Volkswagen. southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right, as after further review, thanks for hanging out with us here. SportsCenter's coming up. Get you caught up on national headlines. When we come back, we talk some SEC baseball with David Dellucci every week. That's next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Supper Club closed today. They will be reopened tomorrow. Man, get you a reservation. I'm going to tell you what. If you have not yet tried Supper Club, it is time. Y'all, we're getting to that point in the season where it's graduation time. What are you going to do to celebrate your graduate? How about Supper Club? Get your reservations now. SupperClubBTR.com, SupperClubBTR.com. They got the private dining room available as well. Call ahead to see if you can reserve it. Awesome way to have sort of a private dining experience there at Supper Club. Amazing. Maybe you want one of the beautiful semicircle booths, tables in the middle of the dining room. Awesome spot, no matter where you're going to be, to have the best dining experience of your life. Oh, and one of the best meals you'll eat anywhere, whether it's steak, fish, the Chilean sea bass, the Ora King salmon. Try it tonight. SupperClubBTR.com.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
It's not easy to be a champion. It's built from every swing, pitch, and game all season long. In the grind, the focus, and in the recovery.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes. Because it takes a champion to care for champions.
I trust the lake to keep me at my best.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kiffin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit SpineCenterLA.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick DeLuca. 2 more Game 4s in the NBA playoffs tonight. Cavs Pistons in Cleveland, followed by the Thunder and the Lakers. OKC with a chance to complete the sweep tonight, while the Cavs look to even the series against the top seed in the Eastern Conference. Tips at 8 and 10:30 Eastern tonight. Also in the West, no suspension for Spurs star Victor Wembanyama. He will not face any further discipline for elbowing Minnesota's Naz Reid in yesterday's loss. Wemby ejected after being called for a flagrant 2 in the second quarter. Team's now 1-8 all-time when an All-Star is ejected from a playoff game before the 4th. The Bucks are entertaining trade offers for 2-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. Milwaukee discussed a deal before the deadline. Giannis expressing that the time has come for the two sides to part ways. NFL schedule being released this week. The Cowboys set to host the division rival Eagles on Thanksgiving afternoon, November 26th at 4:30 Eastern.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Every Monday, we chat with David Dellucci, SEC Network. Recap the weekend that was in the Southeastern Conference. Luch is with us now. Yo, man, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Let's not start with LSU. I'll just ask you, what do you think was the most surprising result of the weekend? Because there's a few to choose from.
Oh, surprising. I think there was a few. I'm going to guess A&M losing the series to Ole Miss was probably surprising to me because they had just been playing so good. Hunter Elliott had a really good weekend this weekend, coming off of 2 subpar outings back-to-back weekends. So I would go with that. I think the injury bug has hit the Aggies, so curious to see is where they're going to be over the next couple weeks. But probably the Rebs have played their way into a serious host conversation.
Tennessee upsetting Texas. Mississippi State losing a home series to Auburn also, I guess, could have qualified. Vanderbilt, Luch, playing for its tournament lives, loses a series to Missouri. I mean,
that they did.
Is that which of those do you think is the most consequential? Like for the teams who are trying to either get in or to host, which series do you think had the most significance or impact?
Well, I mean, look, if you want to talk about the history of the NCAA tournament, I think Vanderbilt stands out. They were going, for their 20th consecutive appearance. That's big, man. That's really big. Texas and Tennessee, the thing about Tennessee is probably over the last 3 series, their offense has really been heating up, and they just exploded. I mean, they took total control over Texas. Texas squeaked a win out of there in Game 3. Their offense woke up. But the way that Tennessee started, Tegan Kuhn's in Game 1 had 15 strikeouts, and the Tennessee lineup just overwhelmed Dylan Volantis, who's been lights out all year long. Auburn, Mississippi State, the way Auburn has, that's their 6th consecutive series victory. So you could say, I didn't see that one coming, but really and truly, I think we all should have seen that coming because the way Auburn's been playing so well. They've got 8 guys that are hitting over 300 in the lineup. Their pitching staff leads the nation in fewest walks per 9 innings. In SEC, their batting average is 3rd in the conference. ERA is 1st in the conference. Fielding percentage is 1st in the conference. So when you do a deep dive on the Auburn Tigers, you realize how good they are. But all of those series, they have consequences, and it's going to be brought in front of the committee, and you're going to have – those are all bubble series right there, and you're going to have to make some tough decisions off of that.
Yeah. David Dellucci is with us. I don't think it was a tough decision at all with Georgia. They're 21-6. They've won the league already with another weekend to go. Luch, we all got a firsthand look this past weekend. Man, they're mighty impressive. If there's a flaw that prevents Georgia from winning a national title this year, what is it?
Inconsistent bullpen. They have relied really heavily on probably 2 guys coming out of the bullpen, and what's covered the Bulldogs for most of the season is the fact that they can drop 10 runs on anybody in the country. Yeah. Starting pitching has come a long ways from opening weekend. But once they open that bullpen door, they just don't know what they're going to get in return. And as you move forward in regionals and super regionals, and if they make it to Omaha, they're going to get deeper and deeper offenses on the other side that may knock a starting pitcher out in the 3rd inning or early in the ball game, and they're going to have to go to that bullpen. And really, I mean, you saw Caden Aoki start Game 3. That guy, I mean, his breaking pitch was filthy, but he's been kind of the swing guy. And once you get, when you talk about depth, and everybody's going to need depth, you saw what LSU has had to do in the past. Somebody typically steps up in Omaha. I just don't know if there's a bullpen piece that has that ability for Georgia.
And they slug their way through it, I think will be a really interesting question. But you're right, man. That offense is, they are elite. David Dellucci's with us, SEC Network. So the other side of that sweep, of course, was LSU. I mean, Luch, they're cooked at this point. They'd have to win the SEC tournament. I don't think anybody thinks that that's realistic to go win 6 games in as many days. So if I asked you in totality, you look at LSU and you're sort of doing the postmortem, albeit they're still baseball to play, but let's be real. What do you say about this LSU baseball team?
I say that it solidifies the trend that how difficult it is if you make a long national championship run and win it all. And we saw it with Mississippi State. We saw it with Ole Miss. Tennessee kind of bounced back a little quicker than other teams. But once again, LSU has followed the trend. It is so difficult for a coach to concentrate on the ultimate goal of winning a national championship while the transfer portal is up and everybody is grabbing every piece out of the transfer portal. I thought Jay Johnson did a great job in the transfer portal, but you'll never know until they step foot on campus and enter into an SEC conference game. And I think it shows how difficult it is to make the transition. Doesn't matter what school you went to. The SEC is just different. It's different in every single sport. So you can't expect a guy to come from the Big 12 or from the ACC and make that transition. We saw it this year. Now, what Jay's going through right now, he's letting these young players go out there, these top prospects. They're getting their feet wet. They're getting established early on. So LSU will be better for it next year. And actually, they'll be better for it in the SEC tournament because I think their best ball has been played over the last couple of weeks. Disregard what happened this weekend. That was a buzzsaw. But you've got some young players that are playing really good. And LSU plays well in Hoover, and we'll see how far they can go.
How do you think LSU matches up against Florida in Baton Rouge this weekend?
It's going to be tough. This pitching staff is really good, but they're like Tennessee. They're hit or miss. Just when you cash in on the Gators, they show you something completely different. It's a very talented team, a very good starting rotation. They got this young guy, and Florida always pulls a guy out of nowhere toward the end. This Caden McDonald is the collegiate version of Shohei Ohtani. He's been pitching. He's been hitting the ball out of the ballpark just this series. I think he went 4 for 5 with a home run and pitched 4 1/3 innings to get the win in the same game with 6 strikeouts. So a very rare talent that's kind of been sitting on the bench for 3/4 of the year. And Sully was forced to put him in a DH role, and here he is as a two-way player right now, getting a bunch of attention.
Luch, who's got the most on the line this weekend in the SEC?
I would say A&M and State are the two teams that are really playing for postseason spot, and most likely the pressure is on Mississippi State because Starkville depends on the postseason, and not just the fan base, but restaurants and hotels, and 29,000 residents in Starkville live for postseason baseball, and it's a Mississippi State team that really, as of late, has kind of cooled off. There's a bunch of pieces there. There's a bunch of talented guys there, but they need to kind of pick it up if they want the committee to send a host opportunity to Starkville.
Big weekend ahead as the SEC 30-game marathon will wrap up on Saturday for all 16 teams. We'll see how it goes. David Dellucci, SEC Network. Of course, catch him every Sunday on Rally Cap. Make sure you do that. And here with us Mondays talking about the weekend that was. Luch, we always appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yep, thanks for having me.
All right, man. Be well. It's After Further Review. Brought about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Graduation time is here. Maybe you have a graduate in your life. They did it. Late night studying, early morning classes, all the way to the moment they walk across that stage. You can celebrate everything it took to get there with a gift that will last a lifetime from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. The perfect gift for every graduate. Doesn't matter if it's high school, college. Things like timeless pearls, elegant watches, classic diamond jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry has it. A meaningful piece that they will carry with them into the next chapter. It's all waiting inside that little red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. So visit Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Shreveport, New Orleans, or online anytime. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, glad you're hanging out with us here, y'all. Good show on this Monday. Remember, if you missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org. We did recap LSU being swept this weekend at Georgia as we opened the show. Ross Jackson was here as well, recapping Saints rookie minicamp. When we come back, I do want to let you hear a little bit from Kellen Moore, who spoke to reporters after Saints rookie minicamp, some of those takeaways. And yesterday, May 10th, was 1 year to the day since Derek Carr retired. How fundamentally has this organization changed in those 366 days? We'll dive into that as we continue. We're glad you're here on a Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows.
After further review.
Get Gordon. Get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. 2 ways you can get in touch. Website, getgordon.com, 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 or you can always give him a buzz. 888-8888. Just dial the 8s. 888-8888. Or go to getgordon.com. And I love telling you about Gordon all the time, not only because of the way they help injured people in our state, which is something that's been obviously at the core of the business for 3 decades, but the many different ways Gordon gives back. We just got done promoting the laptop giveaway, all the many different ways that Gordon is philanthropic and gives back to so many charities and causes across the state of Louisiana. the NIL partnerships with the G team. Court to Table, beautiful location here in Baton Rouge, which has been awesome for our community. But if you've been injured, you know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kiffin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Will's awesome. Derek's had to go through a lot just as you go through this process, and obviously making the decision ultimately to retire from the National Football League after 11-year career. I mean, you know, as we've gone through this process, obviously this is how it kind of ultimately was settled. It was really good communication through the whole process as far as navigating this.
Think about the world a year ago when Kellen Moore made those comments. That was May the 12th of 2005. So a day ago, May the 10th, is when it was a Sunday when Derek Carr abruptly announced it was a Saturday. So it was yesterday was a year, May the 10th, which was a Saturday when Derek Carr very abruptly on that Saturday morning announced his retirement from football. When Kellen Moore took the Saints job, Derek Carr was the starting quarterback, and the Saints had restructured his contract, effectively tying them to him financially for 2 years. When Kellen Moore took the Saints job, he took the Saints job with the understanding that Derek Carr was his quarterback. And going into the draft last year, remember, we didn't know if Derek Carr was retiring at that point. Now, maybe the Saints did. Remember, Kellen Moore said that he never met Derek Carr. He'd been the head coach since February to the retirement in May. They never met. So it was a very odd thing, the way that it all unfolded. It begs the question, what did the Saints know? When did they know it? Is that maybe why they took Tyler Shuck in round 2? But, man, when you think about the fundamental shift in the organization over these 365 days with that Derek Carr decision, the New Orleans Saints right now, without having to go through this absurd amount of contract restructuring to get within cap compliance, still have nearly $7 million in cap space available. Now, there's $113 million in dead cap money for New Orleans this year. But, man, you look ahead to 2027 and how this is all going to shift for the Saints. They go from having $113 million in dead cap money in 2026 to, as it stands now, $0 in dead cap money for 2027. Now, it's all going to change, of course, as guys retire and there's trades. It'll happen. But as of right now, the Saints have $54 million in cap space for 2027. They got $30 million back after Carr's retirement. They drafted Tyler Shuck and appear to have hit on that draft pick. They went into free agency and were very responsible in the way that they went and approached free agency this year. They didn't necessarily overspend on a big-ticket item. They went and fortified the interior of their offensive line to protect their young quarterback. They went into the draft, used all 8 draft picks, or they used 8 draft picks. They did trade, obviously, for Tyree Wilson, but got a pick back as well in that, the 7th rounder. So they used 8 draft picks. They drafted 3 receivers for the first time since 1989. Back-to-back years now, they have not made a trade in the draft. It's so interesting to see how they're approaching it. It's a team that's approaching building the organization, building the roster around a young quarterback, ground up, responsibly, brick by brick, as opposed to what they were doing for half a decade in the final years of the Breeze era, which, again, I was totally on board with how they approached the end of the Breeze era. They were trying to win another Super Bowl. They were in win-now mode, and that was fine. You had Drew Brees. For as long as you had him, you had a shot, so go all in, and they did. They just didn't get over the hump. They had some of the most miserable playoff losses literally in NFL history. I mean, they're named the Minneapolis Miracle, the NOLA no call. Like, they have freaking names for the way they lost. It doesn't mean it was the wrong decision. It just didn't work. The wrong decision was continuing to be all in behind Derek Carr. That's whenever I disagreed with the Saints' approach. Now, Carr's injury, subsequent retirement, forced the Saints into their rebuild, and thankfully, they are approaching that rebuild responsibly. And hopefully, Kellen Moore as a head coach continues to grow into his own. And Tyler Shuck, the small sample we saw a year ago, the 9 games he started, when you're able to expand that to 17 games, we continue to see growth and progress from Shuck. That leads us to believe the Saints can be a contender with Tyler Shuck and Kellen Moore, maybe the new iteration of Peyton Breeze. I'm not saying they're both going to go to the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying that can maybe be your new quarterback-coach combo that leads the Saints back to relevance, which they haven't been for a half-decade now, but now seemingly could be, thanks to what happened a year ago yesterday, Derek Carr abruptly retiring from the NFL. All right, it's after further review. Kellen Moore, speaking of which, did meet with reporters to recap rookie minicamp over the weekend. I'll get to that in just a second. Let me remind you about Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Saturday, the weather was awful. I mean, there was reports of hail over much of South Louisiana, high winds, heavy rain, flooding. If you had roof damage, literally just got a text a bit ago here on the show from Chad, who's in Belle Chase. He texted me and said, Matt, does Parish come to Belle Chase? Yes, we do. We have our New Orleans office. We serve all of greater New Orleans. For our Baton Rouge office, we have our Austin, Texas office open now as well. So for all of our Texas Tigers, remember, do business with someone you know. Would love it if you'd give Parrish the opportunity to earn your business. We were voted by you the best roofing company in the best of Baton Rouge for 2026. They're from The Advocate. So thank you for that recognition. But most importantly, even if it's not us, call a local, licensed, reputable roofing company. Ignore the door knockers, the out-of-towners, the companies that just pop up and try to prey on people after a storm. Trust a reputable local contractor. We'd love it if you give us the opportunity to earn your business. Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com, ParrishBuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing, ParrishBuilt.com. So Kellen Moore met with reporters after Saints rookie minicamp. He did recap. This was after day 2 of minicamp.
Second day of rookie camp. Good work. Another very similar day as you guys saw. Had a few guys not out there, but that's just, building maintenance plans for these guys and building these guys programs to get them ready to go for football perspective. So that's just part of this process of getting to know these guys, getting them into our system and building these guys plans just so, hey, they are ready to go, particularly, for training camp and all that sort of stuff, but just start building these guys up the right way for OTAs and all that fun stuff.
It's light work. First of all, Kellen Moore, if you remember from last year, just does not practice hard, if you remember that from camp. The Saints had one of the lightest training camps any of us have ever seen. A lot of the veterans last year, DeMario, Cam, Alvin, were all talking about how light a training camp was. Keep you fresh, ready to go, healthy, fresh legs. Many different ways to skin a cat. The results will be what they are. So in rookie minicamp they weren't going to go hard. They did about an hour of work each of the 2 days, just there in helmets. There's no contact or anything like that. But an acclimation for those young guys before they hit OTAs coming up here in a couple of weeks. Now, Jordan Tyson was the conversation piece because the first-round pick, who we all know the injury history, was there doing on-field work Friday, then was absent on Saturday. Kellen Moore was quick to point out that was planned. He's not injured. It's just taking it easy on him in the reps. He's coming off the hamstring injury, so they're sort of ramping him up. Moore was asked if Jordan Tyson will be full go by training camp.
Yeah, again, every guy's going to be on different planes here. Again, we focus on, building these guys up the right way through this whole offseason program. When you get to the veterans will be here, again, you guys will see phase 3. There'll be veterans in similar plans where, they may be limited to certain exposures. Again, we're building these guys up so that the whole goal is OTAs is just a continuous build up, and then when they leave this place, they just keep going on their own for a few weeks, and then training camp, we just keep going. And so different than, OTAs and take this long break and go back to ground zero or ground, first level. Let's just keep building. And so that's the goal for all these guys.
I think what's most important there, you don't need to hear about ground zero and building all that. The point is they got a plan. And obviously you're going to be responsible with your rookie receiver 8th overall pick, and you're not going to risk anything at rookie minicamp. But, he's talking about the dates ahead. Remember, the OTAs, which are the voluntary parts of the offseason workout before you get to the mandatory minicamps. OTAs are coming up here in about 2 weeks, and you have several OTA dates that go throughout the end of May and into early June before you hit the mandatory minicamp in mid-June. And then, obviously, as you mentioned, they'll break until they start training camp at the end of July, beginning of August. We'll see what those dates will be. One more that I thought was interesting. It's really hard whenever you're at a minicamp like this where there's no contact to look at the linemen. But Jeremiah Wright is a guy who drew rave reviews. We've had a lot of conversations about him. He's the rookie out of Auburn, 4th-round pick. And the hope is that maybe he's the heir apparent to Cesar Ruiz at right guard. Might even be able to beat him out this year, hopefully. Here was Kellen Moore with his first observations of the rookie offensive lineman out of Auburn.
Strong guy. Obviously, we saw what he progressed through, coming from Auburn, his exposure there, playing both sides of the football and all that sort of stuff. These are challenging exposures. So, again, most of it's going to be individual work with the offensive line coaches, working through the individual techniques, and then some of the communication stuff, which is huge. And so, good first impression.
That's one that we're going to keep an eye on. You got 8 draft picks out there, the undrafted free agents, the tryout players as well. But those draft picks, when you look at who can make an immediate impact for New Orleans, obviously Jordan Tyson's on the list. Berrien Brown turned a lot of heads, not just as a returner, but as a receiver. But Wright being not only someone who might be able to push Cesar Ruiz at right guard, but be that maybe that 6th lineman, that swing guy on the interior is important. We talked about Will Clapp a bit ago. Remember, that was going to be Will Clapp's role a year ago as the backup center, but a swing interior offensive lineman. You got to have depth. If you're going to keep 7 or 8 offensive linemen active, then you got to have your 5 starters, usually a swing guy that can play tackle and one that can play on the interior. Maybe that's Jeremiah Wright. We'll see. Remember, Landon Young was that guy. Well, Landon Young's no longer with the Saints. You'd hope Nick Saldiveri could be that guy, former 4th-round pick. Injuries and other factors, hasn't been that guy. Maybe now it's Jeremiah Wright's turn. He's going to be an interesting to watch here throughout the offseason work and into training camp. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Friday shows are brought to you by Monday shows. It ain't Friday. I wish it was Friday. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. But their number one product is always customer satisfaction. It's Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. All right, y'all, let me knock out a break. We'll come back. We'll continue. Jimmy will be here in 15 minutes for Otterlocks. A lot of reaction as well as most spring football is done. The Lane Kiffin piece over at Vanity Fair is getting a ton of reaction today, as you might expect. But also a lot of conversation about what programs coming out of spring really could have used a spring portal window. There's a lot of connective tissue with LSU here. We'll talk about that a bit as we continue on AFR.
After further review.
All right, Mother's Day is in the rearview mirror, and to be very honest with you, one of our Mother's Day traditions since Eric and I have been married and since Drew came along is that on the Saturday before Mother's Day, we always go to Clegg's Nursery, and we buy a whole mess of flowers for our flower beds and patio pots in our outdoor space by the pool and all that stuff. And then I have to help Erica plant them, and I can't complain. That's one of our Mother's Day traditions. Well, Saturday was a deluge. We needed Noah's Ark to get over to Clegg's on Saturday. So we didn't go Saturday. We'll do that this coming weekend. But what a great time. The fresh shipment of plants are coming in almost daily. Beautiful flowering plants that will brighten up the landscape. The patio pots around the pool, tell you about it all the time. Check out Dipladenias if you haven't ever shot for those before. Beautiful tropical flower. It just explodes with color. It's great for your outdoor space. But find your favorite mulch, soil, bag, bulk. They got it all. Check them out at Clegg's Nursery, any of the 4 locations. Buy local, shop local. Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Greg Sankey, in an interview at the APSE Southeast Region meeting at the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame on Monday, stood firm on his belief that the college football playoff should move to a 16-team expansion instead of a 24-team expansion. Quote, that focus hasn't changed. We're open to the conversation, but there are a lot of ideas out there that have to be supported with analysis and information, not speculation. I think, we talked to Ross Dellinger about this last week, and it's a very unusual position for Sankey to be in because the SEC commissioner, generally speaking, is, which Greg Sankey has been for a decade now, is the most powerful voice in college sports. And he's the commissioner of the biggest, wealthiest, most successful league and swings the biggest stick and all that sort of stuff. And generally, whatever Greg Sankey, or the SEC commissioner, in this case Greg Sankey, aligns with or stands behind is going to be the way things go, just because there's so much influence that the SEC has. It's the biggest brands and the most revenue and all that stuff. Except it's kind of not anymore. The Big Ten's TV deal is bigger. They've won the last 3 football national titles. These are irrefutable pieces of evidence. And Tony Petitti, the Big Ten commissioner, is the one lobbying for the 24-team playoff. And last week, the AFCA, the American Football Coaches Association, endorsed the 24-team playoff. And you're hearing more and more coaches endorse a 24-team playoff as well. And like we've talked about, there's 2 reasons. It's revenue and it's access. Everyone needs more revenue, which we've talked about plenty. And a 24-team playoff will give you more games than a 16-team playoff. Hence, more TV revenue, more inventory, more revenue. And then the access is good for the coaches because, especially now, if you're going to a 9-game SEC schedule, you've guaranteed half of your league another loss. All these coaches got contracts. They need job security. Well, how do you do that? Playoff appearances. More access to the playoff. So it feels like Greg Sankey is going to lose here, which I'm certain is uncomfortable for him. Not something that in the decade that he's been the SEC commissioner that he's used to. But it sure feels like everybody's gathering on that hill to move to 24, and he's standing over there by himself waving that 16 flag. And it's like the Jerry Maguire, who's coming with me? It's just you and that fish, dog. Maybe Renee Zellweger will tag along too. That worked out pretty good. That's going to be a fascinating conversation that drives this offseason. Every year before you get to, we talk all the time about how the NFL is a 12-month league, right? I mean, you have your season, which ends in February with the Super Bowl. Then you go into the Combine in February, and then you start moving into the NFL league year starts in March, so you have free agency. And then April is the draft. And then in May, you have the schedule release. And then you have OTAs, which start in May and June. And then you get to training camp and preseason, and then you get it. So it's a 12-month calendar. Now, something in the NFL every month of the year. For college football, you have longer layoff periods. But in this period, it's when the rule makers and the decision makers start to affect what the changes will be for the next season. As you have, the spring meetings down in Destin for the SEC, and then all the leagues have their spring meetings, and then You have the oversight committee that's going to have some of these conversations. These are the types of things that are going to direct the college football conversations in the offseason. We'll talk obviously about the teams and all this stuff and projections, and you start with your list season and all your award watch lists and everything. But we'll dust off the feigned indignance drop about all the random summertime lists. But between now and media days, right, which is early mid-July, is when you're going to start, like, it'll be dominated by some conversation about rules and structure for college football. Like, oddly, I was talking about this with somebody today. The last time LSU baseball missed postseason altogether, 2011, that ended up being one of the craziest summers here locally. The Pelicans got the number 1 pick and drafted Anthony Davis. The NFL was going through its lockout, if you remember. And so, like, Drew Brees was organizing practices at Tulane and all that sort of stuff. Well, in college football, in that offseason, in that summer, is when you had the first major seismic realignment shift. It was when Texas and Oklahoma almost went to the Pac-12. Missouri and A&M came into the SEC. Nebraska and Rutgers went into the Big Ten. I mean, it was the first real seismic realignment summer. That just, all the rumors, that just dominated headlines that summer. So oddly now, we may see LSU baseball not make the postseason this year. And it may be where we see the most significant playoff structure realignment to date, if in fact we do see it jump to a 24-team college football playoff, which that's what I endorse. I'm here for it. We'll talk much more about it as the summer and the offseason goes along. All right, we're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. Man, that rain on Saturday, if you were driving around, that puddles everywhere, slick roads. You want the safety and security of knowing your tires are gripping the road and keeping you safe? Well, go to Shaw Bills, because you can buy the best tires on the road at the cheapest price possible. Go to the website, ShawBillsTire.com. Hit the promotions tab at the top. You'll see all the dealer specials. They'll give you a really good insight into how they work so hard to get you the best tires at the cheapest price. They combine their in-house offer with the manufacturer's offer to get you the best price on the best tires. Name brand tires: Bridgestone, Firestone, BF Goodrich, Michelin, Toyo. The best tires on the road at the cheapest price. That's their guarantee. As a matter of fact, you buy tires at Shaw Bills, find those tires advertised cheaper somewhere else, they'll refund you 125% of the difference. That's part of the Charlie's Dozen, the price match guarantee. It's at Shaw Bills. Buy the best tires at the cheapest price, and they'll treat you like family. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills. We keep you rolling. There's a lot of reaction today, obviously, to the Lane Kiffin Vanity Fair piece. We spent a good 2 segments in hour number 2 rehashing that. My biggest takeaway, I think, from it is, while everyone's talking about the conversation of the comments that Lane Kiffin made about recruiting at Ole Miss and how there were some recruits who said, "Coach, we like you, but my parents, grandparents won't let me come to Oxford, Mississippi." I think what's important, and this is going to be something that I know I'm pushing back. I'm not defending Lane Kiffin in the comments or anything like that, but I am defending being inaccurate. Mentions of Colonel Reb and the rebel flag, all of that was not part of Lane Kiffin's quote. Those were insinuations made by the author of the piece. And I will reach out to, his name's Christopher Smith. I would love to know the context of those comments. Meaning, did Christopher Smith ask Lane Kiffin about that? Did Lane Kiffin just volunteer? Was he asked, was it hard to recruit here? Was there a racial component here? Like, was Lane Kiffin asked that question, or did he just volunteer that in some other capacity? Like, that's context that was not given in the Vanity Fair piece that I think is really the central part of those comments. It needs to be explained. So hopefully we do get that explanation, or maybe this is just, lighten the dynamite stick, and the Ole Miss fans are going to go kaboom and blow their minds for a few days, and they'll move on after that. Well, I guess they'll never move on, but they'll move to a new conversation. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out our final break of the show. Come back. Jimmy will be here for Otterlocks. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Thinking about selling your home? Call Darren James. Get your home sold. As a matter of fact, this weekend I was scrolling Instagram and I saw a home that I liked. The address wasn't listed on it. However, I'm not in the market for a new home, but it was a nice home and I was curious. I texted Darren the Instagram reel and I said, can you find out about this property for me? A minute later, boom, he had the address, the listing, kicked me all the info. Said, you want to go see it today? It's like, no. Because I looked at the neighborhood it was in. We're not interested in moving there. But it was just an illustration of Darren's responsiveness. When you work with Darren James, you are working with someone who has incredible work ethic. I love Darren, says it all the time. Late to bed, early to rise, work like heck, and advertise. I mean, the guy has a system down pat, his people, his processes down pat to make sure that he's the most efficient. It's how he ends up at a closing table more than anyone else, and you're going to have an exceptional customer service experience with Darren James. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Ever wonder why cane sauce doesn't come in a pre-sealed packet? It's because it's made fresh inside every Raising Cane's every single day. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
In 2021, after Ida, there were 13 insurance carriers that went out of business. Insurance Network of Louisiana was not affected at all because they're careful who they partner with. For years, I've told you, call Insurance Network of Louisiana, get better coverage for less money. I want to remind you that this is true for your business as well. So if you're a business owner, you need to call Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm going to give you the number or you can log on. They will shop to find you better coverage for your business for less money. It doesn't matter what type of business it is. Doctors, dentists, law offices, accountants, CPAs, financial advisors, mortgage lenders, professional offices, vets, hair salons, restaurants, architects, engineers, pharmacies. Doesn't matter what type. You're interested in your bottom line? How about better coverage for less money? Let Insurance Network of Louisiana shop. 293-0450.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. Been a really good show. If you miss anything, AFR On Demand is presented by Breck Golf, so book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Yo, Otter, what up?
What's going on, Matthew? How you doing?
Doing awesome, man. Good weekend and a lot going on. A lot of sports on the television and whatnot.
Yeah.
A lot of sports to bet on.
Yeah. Let's get to it. First in the NBA doubleheader, Detroit and Cleveland. These games have been pretty close. The home team has covered the first three of Detroit winning and covering games 1 and 2, and had a 17-point. Detroit winning and covering games 1 and 2. Game 3, it was Cleveland built as much as a 17-point lead. Detroit comes back to take the lead. Then they go out to an 8-point lead. They back Detroit takes the lead. So, but then they made James Harden made some big shots down the stretch. So I don't know if he's going to be able to duplicate that again. So we're going to take Detroit to try and get a commanding lead here. Take the points on the road here with the Pistons in the first game. You know, an old gambler taught me once that fear creates value. Well, that applies to this one, I guess, because I'm sure scared to take the Lakers in this matchup. Oklahoma City can name their score. But, you know, sell high, buy low. This is a buy low spot. We might be the only ones in the Lakers tonight. Double digits at home. Gentleman sweep situation. Just take it easy on us tonight, OKC. Win by 6, 8, whatever it is. We're going to take the Lakers in the scream for mercy. Baseball, we got 2 plays, a couple of slight dogs on the road. Tampa Bay, they now won 14 of 16. They won 2 of 3 in Boston this past weekend. They swept Toronto just last week at home. Same pitching matchup that we had last week with Rasmussen and Gosman. Until they show any signs of cooling off, we're going to have to just ride the streak with the Tampa Bay Rays, actually, plus some money in that one. And then we're going to take Arizona at Texas. Texas did win 2 out of 3 this past weekend against the Cubbies, but still, we're going to take Mike Soroka, who was a former Brave, who had the Tommy John surgery, and it's taken him a couple of years to get back to form. He's pitching very well for the Diamondbacks. Like their lineup better than Texas right now. Texas, again, on paper, their lineup should be better until they start hitting the ball more. We're going to take them. They're an unbelievable under team at home, close to 70% unders at Texas. So they just don't score at home. We're going to take Arizona. So two MLB picks and 2 NBA picks.
Do we like under 8 as well in Diamondbacks Rangers?
If you want to throw it in there, yeah. So it's it's been an underrun for sure. That's Max's team. That's the Max Gotro angle on that one.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
And you know it has been hitting.
So on the hardwood, Pistons and the Lakers taking both dogs tonight. And then in Major League Baseball, the Rays and the Diamondbacks also a play there with the Diamondbacks and the Rangers under 8 runs scored. Where are you tomorrow, Honor?
We are at Dozy Place on Government Street in Mid-City.
Steak for lunch sounds awesome.
They have, we all usually go there for dinner with steaks. That's what they're known for. They start off with the tamales, the whole thing. Great steaks in a casual atmosphere. But their lunch menu is a bunch of sandwiches, burgers, chicken sandwiches, plate lunches that are not available on the dinner menu. So generous portions, to say the least, at Doze.
I'm glad you told me that because I got to call Scott anyway. I was at Clay Young's event a few weeks ago, and there was like a dinner for 6 or something at the live auction that I won. So I need to go like cash in on that, man. I need to go have dinner at those. So that's coming up soon for sure for the scones.
Very good. Very good. Great place.
For tomorrow, no doubt, man. Thank you, Otter. We appreciate it.
All right, good luck.
All right, man. Same to you. It is After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We got a little time. You know what? Giving you guys a little heads up. A little what we learned. We got time for it. So get your thoughts around you. Get your thoughts together, Paulie. You got time for what we learned. One thing that we got to test out here is Jordan Watch. So if you were not here in hour 1 when Ross Jackson was here, we were talking about Saints rookie minicamp and Jordan Tyson, who was there day 1, was not there day 2. We had someone via the text line bring up Jordan Watch, which, of course, we've done several times, like Seton Watch. You might recall. What was the other one? Did we do another one? Oh, Kiffin Watch.
I was about to say Kiffin Watch. We've done a bunch, though. Those are the 2 recent ones.
I like it. Jordan, which should probably also be like Tyson watch.
That's what I was thinking, too, when I played it back.
Yeah, but it's all right. We can go Jordan. All right, let's hear it. Jordan watch. It's so stupid.
I love it, though. I really do. It's so good.
On today's episode of Jordan watch. The stupid pause.
Love it.
You need to get rid of that. Well, the pause is so inappropriately timed. Like, we don't need that pause, but it actually is funnier.
I think that's kind of what makes it work so well.
It's like a jump cut.
Yeah.
One more time. Jordan watch. All right, and then we have one other. What was the other drop that we used last week? It was somebody's name we were doing.
Divine.
Oh yeah. Divine Ugochukwu. We're working them in, man.
We're working them in.
We got some new ones.
We're getting back to it, man.
We got some new ones to test drive here. All right.
We can only work with what they give us.
Don't waste my time, Muse. Don't waste my time. We got to find out what you learned. Paulie, what'd you learn?
I learned that the UFL is interviewing refs in
How
game.
about it? That'll be Paulie. Good job. Muse, what'd you learn?
I learned that Barry and Brown's going to be the next Rashid Shaheed.
Ross did say that.
He
yes,
did.
He
said
did.
it. What'd you learn, Matt?
David Dellucci talked some baseball stuff with us on the show. Jimmy's at Doze tomorrow. That's what I learned.
There we go.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Rouse's, official supermarket of the Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. It's a Rouse's. Hey, Mother's Day is behind us, but there's still great opportunities to get by. How about boiled crawfish? They still got over at Rouse's. And live Maine lobster. Oh, get by Rouse's, y'all. What are you waiting on? What a time of year to get by there as well. The floral department's great. Get those fresh, beautiful flowers, roses, bring them home. Surprise your honey. Pop into Rouse's, grab some flowers, beautiful flowers, surprise her tonight. Grab dinner as well. Say, sweetie, don't cook. I'm heading to Rouse's. They're at the deli. They got something for everyone, man. Sushi on Tuesday. Sushi every day, but $5 Sushi Tuesdays. They got the hot and boiled kiosk with the crawfish, boiled shrimp as well. You want your fried seafood, they got it. Salad bar. Man, I love their Asian bowls as well. It's at Rouse's. Rouse's! This feels like home.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Raising Cane's Texas Toast is a thick slice of bread, garlic butter spread, grilled to golden perfection, and made to order just for you. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.